Do not adjust your radio dial. You are tuned in to the Mark Order Podcast. Join the Mark Order.
Excuse me, it's a little smoky in here.
Just a wee bit.
A little smoky. But it is Wednesday night. I know that much. And you all know what that means. Time for the Mark Order Podcast, part of the Shining Wizards Network. After a smoky Wednesday here in the Northeast, and Tuesday for that matter of fact, and probably Thursday.
Yeah, probably till Friday.
Probably till Friday. I'm going to take care of some business real quick here, Ryan.
Go for it.
We're going to put somebody in a timeout, and thank you so much, Kaden. We're going to keep the gimmick going. Ryan Schlong here, AntMoney here. Believe it or not, I don't know if anybody's going to believe us here, Ryan. Kate was here. She was early.
Wait.
Huh? Oh, that's worse. Oh, now it's better.
It's clearing up.
Okay, that's better. Kate, we were just telling people who probably wouldn't believe us that you were actually here.
I was.
Oh no, you guys! If you see our comment section, I accidentally hit the wrong button. I'll have to go back.
What did you do? You banned Kate.
You had to time him out, and you banned that. Well, the gimmick's done now because we've gone too far.
My bad, Kate.
Oh my god!
It just meant to be a timeout.
No, that shoot happened to Ryan though with the Wizards, right?
I don't know what happened with me. I wasn't even supposed to be put in timeout. Kevin was doing something, and next thing I know, I was banned.
I swear I hit the timeout button. I swear I hit the timeout button. There's no reason to ban.
No, that's hysterical. I'm here for that.
Real quick, before we get going, I need to address something so you don't get confused. Pluggo is telling me to apologize, and I need to clear something. I have nothing to apologize for. I did a show at Pluggo, his show, Between Two Beards, and...
You don't even have a beard. What a fucking sham.
I think I had one that day, maybe.
Oh, one of us has a beard.
I have a beard. Wait, what?
You are a beard.
I would be for the right circumstances.
But I do and do not have beard, depending on the day of the week. But anyway, Pluggo's show is part of the Love Wrestling Canada group, and they are a promotion out of Canada. On that episode came in their tag champs, one of their tag champs, Rich King from the Rads. And Pluggo just keeps disrespecting him. And I think he should be respectful for champions. That's all I'm going to say.
I think they should apologize for setting the air on fire. How about that, Canada? You want to talk about how you set the air on fire?
I do want to
call Pluggo doesn't live in Canada.
Pluggo does say you are hoarding the invites because Kate and Ant do have the best beards. So
that's what's up.
Actually,
and I will
blame say
Canada,
this,
Kaden, you're right.
And I've said it to Pluggo's co-host JPJ in his. I watch his Twitch streams because he streams the show. So if you like watching MLB The Show, JPJ has a great Twitch stream. But I have said, Ant, you, Kate, and Matt are all perfect to go on and talk to JPJ because you all love baseball and he loves baseball.
Hell yeah.
I love baseball, but I get to watch less of it now because the game is so much faster. Like I turned on the Yankee game yesterday when they were playing, and like I had it on, then I turned it off for a second, and it was like the second inning when I turned it off, and I went back and they were like in the 5th inning. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
I mean,
I don't know
like
how I missed 3 innings. I know.
It moves now, baby.
I know, and I don't mind it. It's just I miss so much of it.
But you gotta make time for the things that you love, Ant.
Sorry, Pluggo. You love baseball too. You're right.
All right, well, this
The
isn't your
JPJ
fucking therapy session,
Get
okay?
the hell out of here. Cut it out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I guess we'll
Apologize
say
to the man so you can be accountable, okay?
I was actually just going to say, on behalf of Ryan Pluggo, we apologize and we're moving on. No offense to you. I'm just tired of hearing Ryan bitch and moan about not apologizing. So on his behalf, Kate, and
You
the
don't speak
entire
for
Mark
me.
Order pod.
You
Kate?
don't speak for me.
Kate,
Ryan,
myself,
unprofessionally and summarily.
Kate, myself, and Ryan speak, and Kate, myself, and the entire Mark Order podcast production team, on behalf of Ryan,
Of which there are so many people backstage that you guys don't even know about. The unsung heroes, really, of this network.
That's right. And we apologize on behalf of Ryan. He says he won't be silenced. He doesn't realize he is silent. He's talking.
For those of you listening in podcast form, Ryan was unmuted.
Because he said you can't silence me. So I was like, sure we can. We can silence anybody.
Watch us.
So anyway, I would like to say, hold on, thank you. I was like, you can't just fucking put your picture on top in the wrong spot. We have places.
Man. I can do it too. Okay.
I mean, really, I'm the one that can't.
But you want
other people.
You want to mute me, who tries to keep this show on the tracks, muted.
Yes. I want to see where we go when the show's way off tracks. Who knows what topics we'll get into?
Holy moly! Well, the first thing I think we should talk about today, as we came in saying, was the fucking air here in New York, New Jersey, has been a mess yesterday and today.
Listen to me, Kenny Omega.
Oh God. It's not his fault. It's the wrong part of the country.
It's the Canadians.
Oh,
Canada is one place. Okay.
It's just all one spot.
We're dumb
There's like
Americans.
30 people in Canada.
We are Americans, and that means there are 50 different states, and Canada is above them, and they are all on fire. So, Kenny Omega, I know you got a lot going on. I know your father figure turned on you. I know he's got this new, younger, sexier toy in Takeshita, okay? But you got to get it together, Kenny, okay? I can't walk my dog. I can't go outside without my eyes hurting. And I'm all the way in New Jersey. I can't even imagine what's going on, like, in Canada and closer to the border. So, Kenny, I'm going to need you to bring your North Carolina vibes to Canada.
Yes, North Carolina
Calm
has
the
smoke,
weather
too.
down. North Carolina's not on fire, though.
No, actually,
If Canada could grow up to be more like its friend North Carolina, the air would be okay.
I will say that there is a I think there's also some fires in like Jackson, New Jersey.
I think it's done already, though, isn't it?
Are they done? I thought I heard or read this morning that they said stay out of Jackson.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong. I thought by midday it was gone.
Because Jersey gets a little wild, but we got our shit under control, okay? They're out. We had our moment. We moved on. But all I'm saying is, Ant, if you don't want me to breathe normally, you don't support women. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I can't disagree with you there.
But, cut us a t-shirt purchase
it's still
today.
burning,
Thank you.
but it's completely contained.
It didn't get. I can tell you this much, Kate. It has not resulted in a t-shirt purchase yet.
I was told by a fella in the UK that he was kind of bummed because his favorite one was our most expensive design, but he also wanted to support women. So,
well, he's got to put his
purchase.
He's got to put his money where his mouth is because it hasn't come through yet. we get notifications on everything. We know when you people are out there buying the shirts.
Requesting stickers.
We'll get to stickers in a second. But I do want to say, I believe that you are sort of right here with the forest fires and Kenny Omega, Kate. I think he's burning the forest down. He's so angry.
Burn it down.
He's so angry, and he's burning the forest down. But it's made our life a living hell because.
And I get the anger. I'd be pissed too. I totally get where Kenny's coming from. I have been angry enough in my life that I'm like, I'm going to set something on fire. However, I don't do it. And I definitely don't set whole forests on fire. Normally, it's just like, I need to calm down and light a candle or something. So I think maybe if there's somebody out there that can get Kenny Omega an aromatherapy basket, perhaps a nice little bath bomb, some candles, some bath salts, nice little scrub.
Not to smoke.
Not to smoke. No. That will make you angrier. It seems. But SJ saying that she said, I apologize on behalf of all of Canada for the smoke. I respect it, SJ, but we know whose fault this is, and it's Kenny by God Omegas.
By God. So if you're in one of the places affected by the smoke, go back to living your life like it's the pandemic. Stay inside and wear a mask.
That's right.
Jesus. And don't get any of those particulates in your lungs. Kate, you touched on
like smoking 6 cigarettes.
I mean, it's just not affecting me. I don't notice anything. I'm a 6-pack a day. Same thing with Millionaire Matt. Millionaire Matt's outside slinging pizzas. Kate's like, "Oh, are you okay?" I'm like, that guy breathes smoke in every day, whether he wants to or not. He's fine.
That's what was worrisome to me.
He's fine.
It's actually worse for him when there's not smoke going in his lungs because it is adjusted.
Right. I told him if he's got any problems, just breathe more smoke in. It'll all even out.
That I was skeptical.
The good smoke will push the bad smoke out. It will help. That's at least what TikTok told me.
Well, if it was on TikTok. Were you recording a sexy dance?
Yeah, it's totally true. Totally true. Kate, you also brought up stickers. And
I did bring up stickers, Ant.
We mentioned it last week that we had an influx of sticker requests.
We did.
I know I gave you guys a breakdown. I'm gonna give a breakdown for the people, and this is a total shoot. I sent out stickers on the 26th. I sent out 2 sticker requests that came in.
Sticker? I don't even know her.
Oh my God. Don't. Please don't.
Support women.
I need a soundboard. I would have totally given that the old room shot.
My God.
Support women.
I'm working on that too, by the way. I've definitely been looking at a soundboard because we need to clip different parts of us talking. And then if anybody's ever gone, we can just play that person. Anyway, we had requests in. I sent 2 out on the 26th. We had some more come in. I sent out, how many is this? Sorry, my thing got all messed up. I sent out 5 more requests on the 31st. I then sent out more requests that came in after that. 5 more on the 2nd of this month. Since then, this is an absolute shoot. We have gotten in more than I told you this morning, folks. Kate and Ryan, we have 30 requests to fill. 30, and tonight during the show, I got more requests I haven't even added to our sheet. So people are loving the stickers. I will say this, though. It is very surprising the number of people who don't include an address of where to send the stickers. So I'm glad we've started asking for email addresses, because I've had a lot of emails to people saying, "Hey, I'd love to send you stickers, but I need an address." So
wrestling fans not accused of being the smartest bunch. So
I will also say this, Kate.
I say that as one.
Kate, Well, as another one of what I'm going to say, at first, Kate, it was a lot of the females. They were requesting stickers and not giving me an address. But you'll be happy to know that it started to level out. It evened out, and there were a number of gentlemen who did not include their address.
I'm glad you clarified it, because for a minute there it sounded like you weren't supporting women.
No. All of these people support women. I think they also, you know what, Kate? I think if you're doing this, not only do you support women, you support LGBTQIA rights.
Really?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. So if any of the people who already requested them don't, sorry, you do.
Wow. During Pride Month, you don't.
Exactly.
It's weird.
But the other thing I have to do, just so you guys know, I have to go through and see. I would love to know how many states we're in, because we've gotten requests
countries.
Countries, that's a pretty quick one. Let's see. Canada, Ireland.
Didn't we have Australia, Italy?
Australia, Austria, and Italy. Yes. So, if we want to count the USA, we're in 6 countries. And in the United States, we're all over the place. But this past stretch, like, I've been taking requests. I haven't had a chance to send them out because we've had so many and I haven't had the time. So these requests, I've had 30 from June 2nd forward to today. And again, more that came in tonight that I haven't even added to the request list.
We're going to need to get our intern on it immediately.
It's 30 plus. We do definitely need an intern on it. We need a mail machine now. We need one of those postage machines.
We do.
Because I don't have enough stamps. I've got 20 stamps. I've got 30 to send out.
I always break those.
But anyway, just out of these requests, these have all been from the United States. I still think we're being spammed somehow. I don't know how, but I think we're being spammed. Requesting from New York, Texas, West Virginia, California, Missouri, Indiana, Ohio, Connecticut, already said Texas, Illinois, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Michigan, Massachusetts, Kentucky, New Jersey, Alabama, South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee. I don't know if I said that yet. Tennessee.
You're
Pennsylvania.
The only 10 I see. Ah?
Right. Yeah. And the last one I had on this list, North Carolina. So we're all over the place. We're over.
Yeah. There's a lot of states that support women, and you love to see it.
That's right. So, I mean, I'll say this. Asian Joe, I'm just going to put this out there. You said it. It's out there for the world to see. Joe's saying no more free stickers until these cheap fans buy a shirt.
I'm going to reiterate what I tweeted earlier today. Okay?
Hey, wait. How did he get unbanned?
I don't know.
He has
I didn't
3 different handles.
No, this is the one that was banned.
I didn't ban him.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I didn't unban him, I should say. But usually
somebody reban him.
You know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try it again. I'm going to put him in a timeout.
I love that we're timeouting him just for
it's not working at all now.
Reasons.
How weird.
I want to reiterate what I said on Twitter earlier today.
Go ahead.
You guys are always like, we're so appreciative of the sticker requests and anything you can throw our way. Every other night of the week, I've got Sean. We're so appreciative of Fightful Select subscriptions. Thank you so much. You don't have to spend your money on us. We know this. I don't appreciate it anymore, people. I expect it. All right?
Expect it?
I expect it. I expect you shell out your dollars. You steal someone else's credit card.
Whoa. We don't condone it. Let's just say that.
You don't. You're one of these people that appreciate things. I expect it. Find a way to put your money where your mouth is and buy a t-shirt, okay?
Especially that guy from the UK.
Yeah. I don't care about your shipping costs. I don't.
Mm-mm.
I don't. That's not my problem. Talk to Will Ospreay about it. He hates Canada. He knows what he's talking about.
He does hate Canada.
Here's the important part. If you don't put your money where your mouth is, you are not the women's advocate that you're pretending to be. Okay? Put up or shut up, people.
Put up or shut up.
At minimum, you should be spending $50 a month on wrestling merchandise that supports myself in the places that I podcast at minimum. Otherwise, you're kind of full of it, okay?
I don't disagree. I want to pull this comment up just to clear the air. Kaden is asking, if I buy a shirt, will you let me on an episode? No.
Or-
That was so savage.
Well, I'm gonna, because hold on, there is a reason for that.
We can't just let anybody that buys a shirt on this.
I mean, listen, the fourth wall is breaking down. I keep seeing a green screen behind Ryan. I don't know what the fuck is happening tonight. Maybe it's the smoke fucking up everything, but I can tell you this: the reason I say no, Caden, is because we're talking about things in the future. We're talking about additional ways to support us, perhaps on a monthly basis, that at a certain level, that may become an unlockable feature. We're working
Correct.
through
If
things.
you subscribe to Ant's OnlyFans.
No, that's
No?
something completely separate, and we're not plugging that here.
If you buy the level for the foot pics, you get to come on the show. Is that wrong?
Listen, if one day we have something like a Patreon, maybe there will be foot pics. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a joint foot pic. Maybe we'll do a guess whose toes these are. Who knows?
Somehow they'll know when it's not Kate. I don't know how they'll figure that out, but they will.
Not if you're just putting toes, Ryan.
Even your toes, you think your toes look like Kate's toes?
If they're painted and pedicured, they may, Ryan. I've gone on record saying I get full pedicure, they paint them up.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, my toes are hairy, so I don't.
You think I wouldn't take care of that before we took photos to try to fool people?
You think I wouldn't let myself go for a photo shoot?
Also, who's to say we wouldn't just find somebody else's feed pics?
That's a very good point.
So anyway, so thank you to everybody out there who's been requesting stickers. If you're real, when you get your stickers, please tag us on the Twitter
socials.
or Instagram. First, so that we know you got them, and second, that we know you're real.
And if you're not real, what the hell's going on?
Dude, I honestly, every day I'm like, this can't be real. Like, literally, there was a point in time on the 5th and the 6th where I was like, these have to be somehow fake. Like, they have to be bots just throwing in random addresses.
I tweeted about it a little bit more. Wonder if people are.
I don't know. We're gonna, just so the people out there know, we're working on changing the form too, because the way it's been coming through has been very confusing for me to keep track of. So we're gonna change the form a little bit, so it'll be more like a form where you can put your address, your apartment, and things are very easy for you to fill in, so that people can't forget their address.
That'll help screen some of the bots out.
It will help screen some of the bots, and it will also we want to get some information from you guys. Like, where are you listening to us? Just so we know.
Social security number.
No, stop. Don't.
Driver's license, blood type.
No, blood type wouldn't be a bad one. Then we know who could be a donor for us.
Exactly.
But I don't need a credit card. I don't need any of that. They're completely free stickers. I mean, Ryan used his as an eye patch. I also did that, but I'm not going to do it now because I'm not wearing my glasses. But who doesn't want these nifty, free, glossy stickers? And at some point, I'm telling you guys, I'm going to have to get more. And that means I'm going to have to get a third iteration of this design.
It also means that we're going to have to purchase them. So pony up for a t-shirt so we can afford more stickers to send to you. This is how the cycle works. We've talked a lot about stickers.
This is a lot of stickers, but more so the reason I bring it up is because I can't believe the support. That's really one thing.
I can.
Well, people do love women. And supporting women. And Kate expects it.
I do.
And she, I guess, cracks the whip. Whatever.
Yeah. I'm currently on pace to do 400 podcasts this year. The least you can do is buy a shirt.
Just buy
Get
a
it
shirt.
together.
Buy a shirt. Eventually, it goes back to Kate. So just buy a shirt because it will go into this podcast, which Kate is a part of. You know,
Exactly.
stickers, production,
Our interns.
No, interns are free. We don't pay interns.
That's
We
a
don't
good
even
point.
buy them lunch.
They buy us lunch.
That's
That's
right.
right.
It's on their dime.
You gotta earn it. They're like young boys.
Whoa. They're not young boys, if you get my drift.
Not young
We're-
boy. I mean in a New Japan way.
I
Don't be
get what
weird.
you meant, but when somebody clips that and says these are people are putting young boys to work, I'm not answering that. You're gonna have to answer to that, Kate.
I may be putting young men to work, but that's a totally different conversation.
Well, Ryan and
Men at work.
his pool hands from the cruise ship, his cabin boys, I guess. So anyway, thank you everybody out there for the support. You know, we'll go into business for ourselves later and tell you where you can support us. So we'll worry about that later. Right now, I'd like to talk a little bit of wrestling. I know that's crazy. It's been less than 30 minutes and we're going to get into wrestling talk. Yeah, we're going to get into wrestling talk. Not talk about wrestling, but wrestling talk.
Fair enough.
Okay?
Respect.
We're not stealing gimmicks like some other guy on our chat says he's going to steal our gimmick.
Bastards.
Just a clue. It's somebody who says they're from the A show and they want to
Why
steal.
would someone from this show steal their own gimmick? That makes no
Well,
sense.
You know, it's
Are they a big fan of Tanahashi?
How about
Who's
this?
there?
I'll give a clue that won't lead to who it is. Somebody who's appeared on this show, but also you know, is a wizard who talks about wrestling and shines on Monday nights. You'll never guess who that is.
Never will know.
Want to steal one of our gimmicks?
Typical.
They say they're the A show. Get out of here.
I wish Matt watched because I got my Tanahashi shirt on by coincidence today.
Throw your guitar. So,
Wrestling.
let's talk about some wrestling. So, some stuff was on Dynamite tonight, but we want to talk about it because they came out with not that they came out with, but two matches were decided upon so far for Forbidden Door. And we've sort of been talking about it via our chat and other places, but it really deserves to be discussed first before we get to anything else. So, what sort of came out first was that Ospreay won his tournament, right?
Beat Lance Archer.
That's right. And gets a shot at Kenny's title. So obviously that is going to happen at Forbidden Door. So we are going to get Kenny and Ospreay 2 at Forbidden Door on June 25th. Fantastic. Just a great
Ridiculous.
Great match. I think we're all anticipating that they'll wrestle again at Wembley. So who knows what'll happen in this match, but going to be fantastic either way. I don't know if anybody else of us thought that it could get better that quickly. And then all of a sudden, fucking Bryan Danielson puts a video out calling out Okada. And Okada responds, and it's official. We're going to get Bryan Danielson and Okada at the Forbidden Door. Honestly, guys, I want your opinion on this, and obviously whatever you'd like to talk about. But I will say, for me, anything else they can announce at this point is just like a bonus. Like, I am perfectly fine. If they said this is going to be a pay-per-view and you're just going to get these two matches, I'd be like, sold. It's sold. Like, that's perfectly fine for me. Both of these matches are going to be great. I'd say Danielson Okada is the top match right now, not too far behind Kenny and Ospreay. I mean, both matches are going to rule to me, but I'm very, very much looking forward to Danielson Okada.
Yeah. I mean, I think most people thought it was going to be ZSJ. I think if you do Danielson ZSJ at Wembley, that's probably an even better call. Mm-hmm. So if you also consider that the bottom of that card or the middle of it could be Zack Sabre Jr. and Samoa Joe, assuming they're going to pay off what they've been building on ROH, and then FTR versus whoever. If Aussie Open is ready, that would be incredible. There's a lot of possibilities for what the rest of this could look like, because we haven't even. I don't know if MJF wrestles on the show. I'm assuming he does. Like maybe it's MJF and someone versus Adam Cole and someone.
Right.
But like, just even thinking of I'm trying to think of if they've laid any other groundwork on ROH or in New Japan or anywhere. But you'll probably do TV title versus TV title, which should be interesting. And then tag and trios wise, there's a whole host of possibilities, because both promotions are so stable heavy that you could build out whatever the heck you wanted. So
yeah,
there's a lot of really, really fun possibilities there. Okada and Danielson just has the dream match flavor, right? And Kenny and Ospreay, we saw what they did on their first one. I'm guessing Ospreay wins the title, and then probably wins and retains in Europe. But like, I feel like in ring that'll be so amazing and special, and then just the dream of Okada and Danielson will just be insane. And on top of that, like, somebody had tweeted, I think it was Kieran from the good host from Fightful.
Yeah, the real expert on
the guy who knows what he's talking about.
That's right.
I think it was him who tweeted, the Wrestle Kingdom 17 build between Kenny and Ospreay, the first go with this. Ospreay came out with some fucking fire promos, man. And talking about the pandemic, and Kenny talking about the sacrifices he made, and Ospreay being like, no, I had 15-hour flights between my hometown and here, and I had to wait 2 weeks to wrestle, and everywhere was closed by the time I was done wrestling, and I couldn't eat shit. You had a 2-hour trip to Orlando or whatever. Like, I'm so excited that, I think because of the lack of injuries in who's probably planned for the show, we're just getting a little bit more story than we did last time around, because there were so many adjustments. But this is going to be a hell of a pay-per-view, man. And this whole summer is just nuts. Like, we have All In and All Out and Forbidden Door, and we're going to Super Juniors in Philly, and Impact has Multiverse. Like, there's such great wrestling happening right now, and the open landscape stuff about it is some of my favorite. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. I totally forgot. You brought up the Owen Cup. The Owen Cup kicks off at Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could have an AEW talent and a New Japan talent in the men's division and or the women's division. To sort of get things rolling. But I mean, we're fantasy booking at that point, but there's also another big, and you know what, Ryan, I want to hear your thoughts on these matches before I throw another one that's possibly hanging out there that could be a reality.
Who is Okada?
He was on Forbidden Door last year.
Yeah.
Are we sure? Was he? What did he do last year? I don't remember him. No, I mean, I'm more excited for Ospreay and Omega than I am Okada and Danielson, but that's just a personal thing. I mean, I think both are going to be great. I like the story of Omega and Ospreay a bit more. That it's not just a dream match or a second round of a dream match. It's a dream match with a story. Kenny was the guy, Ospreay became the guy type deal. I mean, logic dictates that Ospreay wins, and then they have their blow off at Wembley. There is a story though, where Ospreay loses through some shenanigans, and they go to Wembley again, and that's where he finally is able to beat Kenny Omega in front of his hometown. I'm kind of hoping they go that route, but we'll see. So I'm excited.
Is there a possibility Kenny beats him in Toronto, and then somehow they build the story back? I want one more chance. I've earned this chance at home, that Ospreay is the one to kick out of the one-winged angel.
Ooh.
In Wembley.
Never beating Kenny. Gets one-winged angeled. Kicks out. Yeah, that I mean, just imagine how that crowd will react.
Whew.
I mean, that would be massive, and I'm sorry if I just spoiled it, but I mean, that would be the biggest fucking reaction you could ask for in a third and final blow-off match.
Well, and really the second person to kick out of it, because we know Don Callis basically kicked out of it.
That, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry. But there is another match that could be hanging out there that I think people want to see for possibly for Forbidden Door. We have somebody returning, and they announced the main event for Collision tonight, right? We'll talk about that. And there was a guy from New Japan who said, I'm free on the 17th, who wasn't in that main event. Is there a chance?
Uses CM Punk's finishing move. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that they book CM Punk and Kenta for Forbidden Door?
I think it's a possibility. I actually don't want to see it.
Why?
My question.
Because Punk is my favorite wrestler, right? He is not physically held up in these runs, and Kenta has not looked great in his more recent runs. Like, it's I don't want to see a match built off of a finishing feud with two guys who should probably be in there with someone that's a little bit more agile than each other, which is a hard thing for me to admit in my heart. But I think it's very possible they do it, and I don't doubt that they couldn't put something super fun together for it. But if I'm choosing all of the people on one side versus all of the people on the other side, I'm probably not gonna do that. I would probably do like CMF. I guess you're probably gonna do Bullet Club Gold versus Bullet Club. And currently Bullet Club should kick the living shit out of Bullet Club Gold.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if I could do something, I'd probably do this new Bullet Club. This new Bullet Club versus CMFTR, I think, could be a really fun way to go. Like, the idea of CM Punk and Gabriel Kidd being in a ring makes me more excited, or Dax Harwood and Clark Connors being in the ring. That makes me a little bit more excited, but I think you're probably not going to tie up your tag program in that. They'll probably do Kenta and Punk and people will love it, but I just like the in-ring there does concern me a little bit. Punk is such a great storyteller that I'm sure it'll be great, but I'm just like, man, Punk has not held up well, and him coming back to fight a guy like Kenta who's not killing it right now from an in-ring perspective, unfortunately for me, knowing that the bar in Japan is extremely high right now, I don't know if I want like a decades old finishing move feud. Punk versus Kushida or something like that would be awesome to me.
There's just nothing there with Kushida. I mean, this has been a thing back and forth for, like you said, a long time with Kenta.
Well, my question is, is Kenta willing to lose?
I think for the match it would be.
Or is CM Punk willing to lose? Probably not.
CM Punk's not losing, so it'd be Kenta.
That's the thing. Even if CM Punk was willing to, there's no way they do that to him out of the gate like that. Because this isn't a couple weeks, and Collision is
A week before.
Right before it. So you're not going to have Punk lose that. I don't know. Would be fun to do. You could do, you can't because the story would be wrong. I was going to say you could do Punk, Samoa Joe, and Zack Sabre Jr. in a triple threat. I don't know what you do with Orange Cassidy. He's an interesting one because he's got that international title and he could lose it to someone in Japan, and that could make a fun story. That could be Kushida. Maybe. We'll see.
Could be Kushida.
In ring, that would be a fucking blast.
Yeah, that would be fun. I do like Marky Mark kayfabe's suggestion. Danielson, he wants Danielson to come out to Blind Melon's No Rain when he faces Okada. That would be fantastic. Oh, another good one from Marky Mark kayfabe. Is Naito available? You would have to think he is, right? He's not injured at the moment.
There's some. I mean, you have Naito, you have Tana. Matt's
Mhm.
favorite. Those two are probably your favorite hair wise. I would say Yoshida Umino, who is John Moxley's young boy. Like, is he going to show up on the Blackpool Combat Club side? There's a lot that they could choose to throw together. That it's an interesting little landscape. I like where things are headed so far.
Well, so far the two that they've announced, Osprey Kenny 2 and Okada Danielson, two fantastic matches. If that isn't enough to sell you, I don't know what else you possibly could want. Those I mean, I was going to watch the show regardless, but that seals the deal for me. I mean, those are great matches that, you know, I think to me sort of sells that pay-per-view.
Yeah, Marky Mark bringing up, like, who does Sonata face? He's the champ right now, right? Like,
Yeah.
Man, a lot of possibilities out there. It's fun. It's a fun time to be a wrestling fan.
Well, how about we talk about Rampage a little bit?
This is Rampage.
This is Rampage. We are raging.
We should get just that drop. Just this
Yeah.
is Rampage.
I'm telling you, when I can get that a little soundboard, I will put all sorts of drops on it that will make sense for this show. I'll put a super cut together of just you saying, I want to...
Fuck Peter Avalon.
There you go. Ooh, that was a good one, Schlong, because that time she didn't say, I want to. She just said, fuck Peter Avalon.
I just said, fuck Peter Avalon.
Said it's so cheery though.
What,
You know-
you would rather me be like, fuck Peter Avalon?
We're getting a lot of good, clean takes
You're
on
welcome.
this.
You're welcome for all this gold. This Bullet Club gold that I'm giving you guys.
Thank you.
Bang, bang, gang.
That's right. Bang, bang, gang. We're going to talk about the Bang Bang Gang too later because that main event tonight was crazy. So Rampage, it was a bit of a championship Rampage, and it was like all belts that aren't necessarily AEW's belts, which
Yeah,
is
just
pretty
kind of
fun.
like fell together as like I kept calling it the battle of everybody else's belts.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what it was. But it to me, I watched this show. It wasn't a bad show. It didn't necessarily do much for them in the ratings, but then again, it's Friday night, right? And
The mood is right. Gonna have some fun.
You know,
Show you how it's done.
it is what it is. But
TGIF.
oh boy,
Best Rampage in a really long time, honestly.
seriously. El Hijo del Vikingo defeated Dralistico and Commander to retain his AAA Mega Championship. That match was ridiculous. We had an appearance by Kate's favorite, Jeff Jarrett.
And what did they set up, Ant? What did they set up?
They set up Jeff and Karen versus Mark and Aubrey Edwards. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go back and talk. No,
One
stop.
Fucking women's
Hold on.
match.
Stop. Hold on. We're going to talk about, I want to go in on that, but give us a second. Let's get through the card. Maybe Kate's favorite in the world right now for real. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Action Andretti. Another hell of a match to retain the New Japan Wrestling World TV Championship. Willow Nightingale. What's that?
It's just the ugliest belt in wrestling.
It
It's like
is.
my favorite thing happening title wise.
It's very square.
It looks like a watch.
Yeah, it is not.
It's so
It's
bad.
weird looking, but the guy holding it is great. So,
Unreal.
Willow Nightingale defeated Emi Sakura to retain the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Katsuyori Shibata defeated Lee Moriarty. I'll just say this about Shibata too, by the way. First of all, that was a great match. He retained his pure championship. For a while, this is just a side note. For a while, I thought I hated Shibata's music, and it's actually growing on me.
It's such a specific vibe. I think a lot of people have that where they're like, this is not a wrestling theme, and then the next thing you know, you're just like,
The opening is what gets me. Like that's the crazy thing. And then at the end, so after that match, Daniel Garcia confronted Shibata, and it looks like he's going to want a shot at that pure title and that's how Rampage goes off the air, which that match would rule. Okay, but jumping back, because I don't know about you guys. I think we can agree the wrestling on Friday night was fantastic. Like,
Phenomenal. Yeah.
no problem with the wrestling. Here's where my problem was. It wasn't the fact that we got Jeff Jarrett.
It should be.
No. It wasn't the fact that we got Jeff Jarrett. It wasn't even the fact that we got Karen.
It should
It wasn't.
be.
It
Times
wasn't.
2.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Mark Briscoe. It was Aubrey Edwards.
Why?
I like Ref Aubrey as much as the next person
She's
does.
a trained wrestler.
But here's my problem. She is a referee.
That got cracked over the head with a guitar.
She's still a referee. She's already had a Monday Night Wizard Shining show taken down because well, I'm just generalizing. They talked a lot about Ref Aubrey and it was taken down. But she has gotten a lot of criticism for being too visible in the matches she's involved with, making faces and gestures and all that kind of stuff.
Like,
Hold on. I'll give you a shot. I'm not even mad at that, right? What I'm mad at is that a referee should not be involved in a wrestling angle or capacity. I understand she got hit over the head with a guitar. That's part of the job. It's a, it's a risk you take as a referee, right? Refs take bumps all the time. They don't get involved in the matches moving
And
forward.
I could summarize this pretty easily for you. What you're mad about is that it's referee, not referee.
What?
And yeah, it's referee, not referee. And she's very me right
What?
now.
I heard you.
It makes sense.
that is the like 8th biggest problem with this fucking angle. Okay.
I don't
List them.
I
Jeff
honestly don't
Jarrett
care.
should not be on TV in 2023. Karen Jarrett should not be on TV in 2023. I actually kind of agree with you that Aubrey should probably not be setting up a match, but it's going to be a one-off and the crowd's going to love it. And they do more dumb stuff for bigger pops. My issue is we get one fucking women's match every 2 hours and one usually a squash. Let's be real. This past Friday was an exception. This was the Jade squash spot most times per Rampage. And you're going to burn this fucking angle on television instead of actually rotating more women onto your television. I've been so much happier with the way things are going in the women's division. They're rotating on so many more talent. They've rounded it out. There's a long-term story. We're probably headed toward Blood and Guts. That all fucking rules. This is hot garbage when you have people that should be on TV that are not. Like, just absolute trash that you would give this much oxygen to Jeff Jarrett and any oxygen to Karen Jarrett on your television program right now, much less putting Aubrey in a match.
But I do maintain that at the very least, the Jarretts get a reaction from the crowd. They get a reaction, the one you want.
So does your left titty, okay?
Whoa.
The one that I want. You are the one
Fucking
that...
cares. You
But
can get a
Ants
reaction
left titty
from
gets some
people.
amazing reactions.
You can get reactions from people. Big reactions if you build out stories well. Look at Action Andretti. He beat Jericho. He was at the Thorn and Jericho side. And then he's sometimes Darius's partner on Ring of Honor. Like, what on earth are we fucking
We have a
doing?
problem.
What's the problem?
Kate's show last night wasn't nearly as sour as it normally is, so she's got built
She's
up
being
sour
sour
in
now?
her.
When have I not been sour about Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, or
You started
women's
throwing-
screen time?
You started throwing shots at Action Andretti. You know, you're coming.
That
out
wasn't
of
a shot at Action Andretti. That was a shot at them dropping the ball on creative.
It's funny, you're throwing shots.
He was on this show. He got his ass kicked at the end of this match.
He did.
What a
But-
finish.
But I don't have a problem with the Jarretts on Friday night as opposed to Wednesday night. You know what I mean? Like, at least it's on a Friday night in a short segment, and it's not Monday night, 10 minutes in the ring, talking shit, and then doing some sort of gang style jump. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about that. My big problem, I have two big problems at the moment. One, it's the fact that Aubrey is involved in this because she's a referee. Second thing I have a problem with, I don't understand what this is about. Ryan, maybe you'll understand. Asian Joe, Kate, if Jarrett's wrestling together doesn't excite you, maybe the package I sent you will cheer you up. Ryan, are you expecting a package?
First of all, let's just be clear. That sounds like a beginning of a porn. But no, I'm expecting nothing.
I'm not expecting a package. Why did the camera disappear?
I think she did get Asian Joe's package.
Whoa. Well, I guess we'll never know. So we're just going to keep moving on. But Schlong, for real though, do you have a problem with the fact that Aubrey, a referee, is involved in this wrestling angle?
No, I honestly don't. If it stays to Fridays on Rampage, I absolutely have no problem with this at all. Because they are starting another show, so you're gonna have two big shows with your serious angles and your whatever. A Friday throwaway angle, I'm okay with it.
I
Like,
just don't
you know,
like a referee.
It's just silly. Again, right now, it's not great because you're still limited on time. But when you start to have 4 hours of real programming versus 2.5, because Rampage is only a half, so you got 4.5. You can use the other half of to get to the 5. You can use it for silly shit like Karen Jarrett versus this. That's my only opinion. I wouldn't use it now when there's a limited amount, but with Collision coming, it doesn't bother me. What the hell did Joe get Kate that's taking her this long?
I don't know if I want to know.
Is it a real sex doll look like CM Punk?
I hope it's not a machine, if you get my drift.
The machine. I legitimately hope it's like a life-size cutout of gasoline wielding Eddie Kingston.
Oh my god.
Because that's just creepy, and she would put it up and then scare herself in the middle of the night.
I don't know, Schlong, about you. I'm a little hurt. I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little hurt too. I thought we had something special with Asian Joe.
Yeah, well,
and then he does this to us and says, no.
Yeah,
only Kate.
Well, who knows? Hi. Where the fuck did you run off to?
I'll tell you on the commercial break because I got excited yesterday and opened it, and I was supposed to open it on air.
Oh, you blew it.
But I'll grab it on when we break for commercial. I'll bring it back on in a very, very special way.
Asian Joe is also saying you won't be jealous of this at all. Trust me. No, it's not jealous, Joe. I said it. I'm not upset. I'm not jealous. Ryan and I are just disappointed. We're just disappointed.
I'm a little hurt.
Okay, Ryan's hurt.
Wait till you see what it is. I would urge you to hold off on making an emotional reaction.
Listen,
until you see what it is.
I enjoy getting stuff in the mail. Ryan, do you like getting stuff in the mail?
I like getting stuff in the mail.
It doesn't matter to me what it is. I send out stickers all the time. I'm sure people love getting things in the mail. Nobody sends me stickers. I'd love people to send me stickers.
Before you make any leaps or bounds, okay? I just want you to.
All right, then let's finish Rampage so that I can see what the hell this is. Because
it's over. Rampage is over.
No. There's some things we have to talk about real fast.
What do you want to talk about?
We got to talk about Zack Sabre Jr.'s finish to this match. We gotta talk about
Go
how
ahead.
good Emmy and Willow was. Holy shit.
If you really want to dig deep into it, we certainly can. I thought we were going to
Just
move
the-
on to Dynamite.
Just the jump from Andretti into the armbar, and then the I'm reaching for the rope with my arm, and Zack Sabre Jr. being like, nah, I'm gonna break them both instead. And then Willow and Emmy, holy shit. The pounce that we got, and Willow like getting pissed off instead of being smiley fucking rules. And Shibata, who didn't have a brain in his head at one point,
It's true.
putting on banger pure matches. Holy shit. And Spot Food to open the night. Crazy little rampage that got thrown together here.
And Zack Sabre Jr. is a bit overrated, in my opinion.
Okay. Well,
That is an uneducated opinion, my friend.
It's a highly
Don't be-
educated opinion.
A dickhead about Zack Sabre Jr., mate.
I will say this. Jesse Ozog said, I know I enjoyed getting my stickers eventually. Let me take a moment. Let me just take a moment here and say this. I'm going to look right here. I made a highly unprofessional mistake. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I will never forget about it. I only hope to learn from it and grow from it. And from the bottom of my heart, Jesse Ozog, I apologize. I'm doing better. I do better, or I try to do better in your name every day and try to be the most professional person I could be. And I will live every day the rest of my life with disappointment in myself for missing that request and not getting it out in a timely fashion. So I do apologize. I know it doesn't help, but I can only help it. I can only hope that somehow, eventually, in time, could be a day, could be a month, could be a year, could be 10, that eventually you find it in your heart that you could start to forgive me for the unprofessional actions that happened with me not sending out your stickers in a timely fashion.
Okay, now aside from this, I got a question here. I'm cutting your pot. I thought that was the
No,
end of your
that's fine.
podcast.
I'm
Sorry.
done. I'm done. No, I'm done.
What is over your shoulder? It's got Slimer on it. Is it high C?
So there's a I'm glad you brought this up, Schlong. Because it's a product that I'd like to talk about really quick. It's not an ad. It's not an ad, and I want to make sure that I get this right. So give me.
You know what? While you're straightening yourself out over there, I just want you to realize that perhaps why Joe didn't send you something is he feels like you currently can't be trusted with sending and receiving mail because of your recent issues and mistakes with Jesse Ozog. I think it's a reasonable conclusion to jump to.
I'm just gonna mute her there because she doesn't have the power to unmute herself.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, what happened?
I can mute and unmute myself. I just can't mute and unmute you guys. I would have actually thought he'd send it to Ryan because Ryan's always home.
Hold on, real quick.
Well,
Val said.
Hi, Val.
Val said, I got my stickers in a very timely fashion. They made my day when I was having a hella rough one. Although I also got a Warhorse shirt in the mail that day. So, all right, get out of here.
Well, a couple things. Val rules. I believe there's.
You gotta throw the
I gotta be
Warhorse
honest.
thing in there, though. Come on.
When Val requested her stickers, is when business picked up on the sticker front.
I agree. Val's.
I'll confirm that. Hold
She's
on.
a fucking draw.
I'll confirm it.
She's got a feud going on right now with Trevor Outlaw, I believe, right? I think that's what.
Val's got a feud going on with the fucking world. That poor girl's been through a lot lately.
Yeah, there's a GoFundMe out there, I think, right, Kate?
For somebody that not for her specifically, but
All right,
somebody
that's what I
that
thought.
she's
All right, I just
supporting.
want to make sure I was getting.
It's Val and Taylor Swift versus the world is all you need to know.
So Val did put in a request, and then they started a drip and drab in, and then they picked up, like business picked up on the 2nd of June.
Probably
Yeah,
right around when
when-
she got them.
She got it.
all of a sudden she's out there. People see someone cool like her has got them, and business picks up.
They're like, wait, fucking Val has them? I gotta get me some stickers, is what everybody said.
All right, so now back to the thing I was asking.
Probably stickered Taylor Swift concert, and everybody was like, oh my God, I'm in my Mark Order era. I have to get stickers.
Well, I mean, who doesn't want stickers? I'm just gonna say, who doesn't want stickers?
Fools.
I mean,
if we could get Taylor Swift holding a Mark Order sticker, it would all change. We'd start selling those bad boys quickly.
And selling t-shirts.
I still want to know. I still want somebody to get a sign on TV. Like, I think if you get a sign on TV, you're gonna get a shirt and stickers, and maybe you'll even get. You know what? This was a gimmick that I think happened on a Monday night that never got paid off. But if you're the first person to get our sign on TV, I think you'll get to come onto this show. So, Caden, if you make that happen, you'll definitely get to come onto the show for a period of time, not the entire show. You get a segment, and we move on because we've got too much shit to do on this show already. I'm trying to do ads in. Not ads. We're trying to sell the shit out of this show. We're trying to push the shirts. We got a lot of shit going on.
Hey, you're not trying to advertise anything. You're just very passionate about a handful of products that happen to be in the background or within reach.
That's right.
Of your desk where you do this from.
That is right.
What was this product?
So I will tell you. So there's a company out there. Again, not an ad. We're not being paid. I just like the product, and if they would like to sponsor us, we will certainly discuss it. But there's a company called Nutty and Nostalgic, and they make all sorts of like spreads or like fluffs that are of like a nostalgic flavor. So, for example, some of the things they have are Giggle Cookies, fudge and vanilla cookie spread. You know, remember the Giggle cookies that they don't make anymore? Those were fucking fantastic. They do a Butterfinger BB's spread. They at one point did one that was like a Trix spread. I had this one too. They did one called Dinosaur Candy Bar, something like that. It is like, do you guys remember the cartoon Rugrats?
Rexar bar, whatever.
Yeah, it was supposed to be exactly like a Reptar bar. Now, obviously, those weren't real, but it was everything they said.
They're real to me, damn it.
I also, Ryan, you'll probably appreciate this. They did one called, Cowabunga Pies. That was like the Ninja Turtles handheld pies they used to sell. So it was vanilla, like a vanilla pudding fluff with little pie pieces in it. It was fucking great. Now, to answer your question, Ryan, this is what was in the background. This is called 90C. I'm trying to get in focus. It's pretty hard. See, this is where I wish I had a second camera and I could have just held it into my second camera. Okay. But it's 90C. You are correct. You did see Slimer on that, and the little tangerine that looks like it's fucking.
So is it Ecto Cooler?
It is an Ecto Cooler spread, so it does have like a citrus flavor to it. The closest thing I could sort of explain that this is like is it's almost like cake icing. You know what I mean? But a little creamier than like a cake icing. So
does it have a delightful smooth texture? It
does. And I will tell you this. I haven't opened this one. This is one that I got to stock. I do have one that I rock. But I work slowly through it because it's rich and it's sweet. And I put it on like, you know what I put it on? We bought these wonderful almond windmill cookies from Trader Joe's. I spread a little bit of that on. It's delightful.
What's this company called again?
This company that we'd love to get a sponsorship for is called Nutty and Nostalgic. And you can go to their website, nuttynostalgic.com.
Every third date I've ever been on. You know what I mean?
Not an ad.
I'm not Googling it right now or anything. Nope, not at all.
Ryan, I'm telling you. Now, some of the flavors they have that you'll see there are not like available anymore. I definitely got the PB Maxed, which is like the old candy bar. The one that they had was like a dinosaur candy bar, which was the Reptar bar, Cowabunga pie, and then the 90s C. Those are all the ones I've tried, but everything else in here is like fantastic looking. And some of the ones that they do, Ryan, they're not all just whipped up. Like some of the jars that they've done in the past, they're layered. So like they'll do like a layer of chocolate chips, then chocolate icing or pudding or whatever it is, then nuts, then more like icing, then more chocolate chips on top. Like fan-fucking-tastic stuff.
Well,
Some of
and
the ones I really want though.
it sounds like a delightful and versatile product that anyone could use in their home.
It is, and it's an affordable treat that lasts you a while, because you're not just gonna. I mean, if you want to take a spoon and eat the whole jar like in one sitting, have at it. I can't.
Yeah,
I need to spread it out.
I would.
I'm a
think this
skinny
thing's
boy
gonna
now.
last if I get it? But see, the ones I want are gone.
Well, Ryan, they do restock them after a while.
Ryan,
you know what I mean?
We're
Like,
trying to land a sponsorship.
I don't
Maybe not
care.
be so
I've
fucking
gone into
negative.
fat kid mode. Okay, stop. I'm going into fat kid mode. I am now fully focused on what I want.
Ryan is very upset because some of them are sold out because they're just hot items.
Cowabunga pies is
Because
gone.
they're hot, hot, hot. So get yours today. Use the code MarkOrder.
No, don't. This is not an ad. This is not
Oh,
an ad.
right.
Oh, look at
Yes.
this. One LT photo. My wife just bought the PB jelly. Well,
One
leave a
Lieutenant photo
comment
is
that you
fun.
heard about us heard about them on a podcast. They weren't doing an ad, but they were singing the praises because one of their jars was in the background. We're posing.
Ryan, fucking smile.
Pose,
God
Ryan. Look at
damn
the
it.
camera.
I am legitimately
Get
looking
it
at
on
this
the bit.
Just freeze frame. Okay, good.
Sorry, I was legitimately looking at the website.
Do better.
Well, while you're looking at the website, Ryan, we're going to take a little break because it's been an hour. This is normally when we take our break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about Dynamite. A lot of news and notes from the last week we'll touch on as we get to the end here. And we're going to go into some business for ourselves and tell you how you can support us right after the break. But for now, you can listen to some words from some of the other wonderful shows that are part of the Shining Wizards Network, which we are a proud part of. So stay tuned. We'll be right back to talk about Dynamite.
To thank each and every one of you for tuning in every Monday night to listen to The Shining Wizards. If you'd like to continue to support us outside of listening, we've got a few ways for you to do that. If you shop at Amazon, go over to amazon.shiningwizards.com, do your shopping as usual, and when you make your purchase, a little bit of that purchase price will go back to support the show. If you like to wear t-shirts, merch.shiningwizards.com will take you to our Pro Wrestling Tees store, where we've got over a dozen great designs from over 11 years of professional wrestling podcasting. You can become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/wizardspodcast, where each and every week we call out your name as one of our show producers, and the more you support us, the more things that you're entitled to receive, and believe me, they are fantastic. If you can't support us monetarily, if you don't shop at Amazon, that's absolutely fine. Continue to listen to us wherever you listen to us on the World Wide Web, and make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Doesn't cost you anything, helps us out, and we can continue to bring you the love fest that is The Shining Wizards.
What's up, folks? It's your boy, the Impact Player, Mr. Philly Ray, inviting all of you to check out the Turnbuckle Throwbacks Wrestling Podcast. Join us as we cover all things current in the world of pro wrestling, as well as paying homage to the old school, the Squared Circle. So listen in and find out why we are the recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment broadcasting. Find us on all social media platforms and anywhere you get your podcast from. And as always, we are the proudest members of the Shining Wizards Network and Rant Entertainment Media.
Are you tired of being lied to every day by the mainstream media?
Do you want to know what's really going on in the world?
Do you want to make up your own mind about things and not be told what to think or say?
Then listen to Inconclusive Breakdown, a weekly anti-PC look at the world of entertainment and current events, brought to you without censorship or filters.
You can find us everywhere you listen to podcasts, BitChute, and on ShiningWizardsNetwork.com.
And also, we're a proud member of the Shining Wizards Network.
Got 30 minutes to kill?
Come check out 30 Screams or Less, where we review a horror movie in 30 minutes or less. We cover new movies and old ones too.
We'll give our honest thoughts on the movie, good or shit, as well as a rating of each one that we watch.
New episodes weekly, available on the Shining Wizards Network and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Corey.
Come check us out at 30 Screams or Less.
G'day guys, my name is Thomas, one half of the Broadcast Podcast. With our podcast, we go back and watch wrestling events from WWE, WWF, WCW, ECW, AEW, and many other wrestling promotions. You can check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast, that's TheBrokast, and you can also download all episodes on Apple Podcast, Castbox, Castro, and many other podcast apps.
If you like your music heavy, then check out Radioactive Metal on the Shining Wizards Network. For over 16 years now, Radioactive Metal has been one of the longest running podcasts. Over the years, we've interviewed some legendary metal acts, had some awesome discussions, and cranked a hell of a lot of tunes. So join your cool Uncle Snowy and his co-host Aaron for the audio mosh pit that is Radioactive Metal here on the Shining Wizards Network.
Well, the action is underway!
What's up, everyone? When on the Shining Wizards Network, be sure to check out Wrestling Night in Canada. If we're not recording another kick-ass podcast,
or playing in punk bands,
or recording kick-ass heavy metal albums,
then we're sitting back, we're grabbing a couple brews, and going over everything to do in the world of pro wrestling.
Because we're from Winnipeg, you idiots.
The Mark Order Podcast is the only show you need if you're looking for dedicated coverage of everything AEW on the Shining Wizards Network. Join us live on YouTube every Wednesday night at 10:15 p.m. Eastern after Dynamite to chat along with the show. If you can't join us live, listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on all social channels at MarkOrderPod and use the hashtag #JoinTheMarkOrder, because if you don't find us,
we will find you.
I'm Kevin Rowe.
I'm Al Day.
And we're a couple of down under pounders that co-host Rogue Day Dots, an action figure collecting podcast where we talk about, well, just about anything that tickles our fancy at any given moment.
We're grumpy old men, and sometimes people get on our nerves. And when you get on our nerves, guess what? You get off the lawn.
Get off my lawn, asshole! We also go on a little bit of a mission. We go back and we're grading every wrestling figure line that's out there. I'm talking LJNs. I'm talking Jacks. I'm talking Hasbros. Who doesn't like a little Hulkaplex? It's a Gorilla Brain Wrestling podcast production found on the Shining Wizards Network.
I'm Duke Bags.
Kevin Rowe.
And together we are the co-hosts of Your Duke and Road. If you want to hear about some terrible wrestling shows, we got you covered.
Well, we talk about good ones, too.
We're currently talking about the death of WCW.
I know what we're fucking talking about. Sometimes we get guest spots, like from the Taskmaster. I like to listen to the Your Duke and Rope podcast. They're funny guys. That I like when they talk about the Nards plows. I like Nards plows. That's a good move. And I like the Dungeon of Doom. You know, sometimes I call my butt the Dungeon of Doom. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Oklahoma.
Let me tell you a little bit about my favorite wrestling podcast. All right. It's a podcast for two men. Two men, Duke Bags, Kevin Rowe. They talk about professional wrestling. It's a man's sport. All right? And who better to talk about a man's sport than two men? Oklahoma.
And once in a while, Vince Russo stops by.
Oh, you piece of shit! If you're not listening to the You're a Duke and Rope podcast in the back with the boys, you piece of shit, I don't know what you're doing. It's, you gotta slide one in there. If you're a man, you're talking about something only a man can do. You're talking about sliding one in there. Bro, take the time to slide one in there. All right, bro, you piece of shit, slide one in there. A Gorilla Brain Wrestling podcast production that you can find on the Shining Wizards Network.
All right, we're back here on the Mark Order podcast. And before we go into a little bit of business for ourselves, I do want to say a lot of people are in that chat talking about that nutty nostalgic spread. For real, that was not an ad. But if you guys do order from them, you can leave a note at checkout. Let them know you heard about them on this show. Maybe.
I am so sad that Cowabunga Pies is sold out. Like, you've legit no idea how happy I was at the idea and then how sad I got when it was gone.
Ryan, they will, like, if you follow them on social and stuff, they sometimes do like they won't refill them like flavors all the time immediately. Some of them they will. Like, they have regulars that they do. But like Cowabunga Pies was a special. They brought it back. That's how I got some. Eventually they might bring it back. Same with the Ghostbusters one, or the high ecto cooler one. So like, keep an eye out. They'll probably put it back up at some point. But seriously,
enough about your bullshit. Okay, I got a package.
Hold on, if you order some, just let them know you heard about them from us.
This is supposed.
Maybe they'll send us some spread, Ryan.
And ruined my night.
All right, real quick, Kate, we'll get to you in 1 second. Let me just take care of business and then we'll get to you. So you can support us. We've been talking about it. You can definitely support us a couple different ways. Follow us on our socials. That helps a lot. At Mark Order Pod, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Give us a follow. That helps. That helps us. And if you go to the link tree in our bios, you can request free stickers. We've been talking about the stickers all goddamn night. So why don't you get some of your own? And all you got to do is click that button. Make sure you leave us your name, your email address, and your full mailing address. I cannot stress that enough. If you don't give me an address, I can't send you stickers. So give me your address, and then I will send you out some of these Mark Order podcast stickers. And as I said in the chat, while Kate says she's too good to sign anything, I personally sign all of the letters that go out with the stickers, and I handwrite all the envelopes. So you do get something handwritten to an extent. The other way,
not that I'm too good, it's that I'm
too
too good to do it for free.
Well, they said if they get a shirt, will you sign something? Maybe, but you said you're too good for that. So we'll see. But you could spend some of your hard-earned dollars on us by picking up a t-shirt. All you got to do is go to the button in our link tree to buy a t-shirt. Or you can go directly to prowrestlingtees.com/markorderpod. Or if you're on Pro Wrestling Tees, you can just search Mark Order Podcast and we should pop right up. We've got 4 shirt designs in the store, 2 front prints, 2 front and back prints. Total of 4 shirts. So pick whichever one you like, order one with everything else you're going to order, and some of that money comes back to us. And we sink it right back into this show, buying more stickers, getting anything we need for production, all that kind of stuff. So we greatly appreciate if you decide to help us out by picking up a t-shirt. We think they're pretty rad. And in any case, if you get a shirt, if you get some stickers, certainly let us know on social that you got it. Take a photo and let us know that you received it, so we can see and share your tweets.
Can't stress enough. I don't appreciate it. It's the bare minimum you can do. I expect it. Pony up the dough.
That's right, Ryan. Ryan, she doesn't appreciate it.
Don't appreciate it.
I don't
He's
appreciate
not talking
it.
to his mic, but she doesn't appreciate it. That's right. No
She
appreciation.
doesn't appreciate it.
No appreciation. So, Kate, you got a
Support
pack.
women.
You got a package in the mail?
Yeah, because Asian Drove supports women, but only kind of. Because it's a very nice thing to send to someone. A little gift in the mail. But to send them the sexual harassment 2-pack of Alberto Del Rio and Brodus Clay I mean, is this a gift?
Those are keepers. Don't ever let them breathe.
And the reason I couldn't show before was there was a big ass sticker over Del Rio. And I was like, no. I got to peel the sticker off so y'all can see Alberto Del Rio. Now, I will let you know that these Rumblers, this is probably the worst of the 2-pack because you don't get much worse than that. But not a winning collection. Okay, you have
That is amazing.
R-Truth and Jack Swagger. You have Punk and Cena, which is great. But you also have Mason Ryan and The Big Show and Alex Riley and The Miz. But
At least Alex Riley and The Miz makes sense.
That right. There are some pairings that made sense. Like R-Truth and Swagger also were like they had a program together at the same time that Cena and Punk did. So as did A Ryan and Miz. Brodus Clay and Del Rio, I don't remember ever being in the ring at the same time under any circumstances. But knowing what a big fan I am of Tyrus and also people that will never work in American wrestling again because they're abusive pieces of shit. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. But I am delighted to tell you this did appear to be on somewhat of a clearance.
Asian Joe?
I don't think this was a popular hot ticket item.
Asian Joe, I can tell you this. If you ever find who is that pairing, CM Punk and Cena?
Yes.
Asian Joe, if you ever find that and send it to me, I'll love you forever. I already love you forever, but who are you going to find on this show that's a bigger CM Punk fan than me? I would really appreciate that 2-pack of Rumblers.
Support women, Joe. If you find that 2-pack, send it to me.
We know.
This is not supporting women. This guy, sexual harassment, got him suspended and fined at Fox News, I believe. This guy, only not in jail because of a very corrupt government. So, sexual harassment, 2-pack.
I mean, but you can see Tyrus every night on Greg Gutfeld. He's the king of late night.
Basil. Whoop-de-doo.
All right, guys, let's talk Dynamite. Because Dynamite...
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
I'm going to just strategically probably put this one right. Can you see it? It's hanging out with Eddie Guerrero and CM Punk and my big gold book that Aunt gave me and my Eddie Kingston partner, who's going to be in the G1, but we'll talk about that later.
We're going to talk about it. We got some news and notes. So let's talk about Dynamite because I thought this was a good episode of Dynamite.
I disagree.
Really?
I think it was a great episode of Dynamite and that there was not a single segment really that I didn't love.
Well, we're going to talk about it because I agree with you. And I thought the crowd was really good tonight as well. So they open up the show with Orange Cassidy versus Swerve for the AEW International Championship. And what a match. I want to say right off the bat because I don't want to forget it. Every time that I see, creepy. Every time Ryan just came back from being disappeared. And it always freaks me out. Every time Swerve does that move where he gets thrown over the top rope and does the somersault off the apron, I am always nervous as fuck that he is going to miss and break his goddamn neck. And every time he pulls it off, like it's amazing to me that he doesn't ever slip and fall, or at least not that I've seen him do it. But anyway, this match was fantastic in my book. Just cutting to the end so we could talk about it in depth with the rest of the crew. Orange Cassidy wins by pinfall with the O'Connor roll and a handful of tights to retain the International Championship. Swerve also had a handful of tights going for a pin, and Orange Cassidy sort of used it to his advantage. Post-match, the Mogul Embassy hit the ring to beat down Orange Cassidy, but the lights go out. And when they come back up, Sting and Darby Allin are in the ring. The Mogul Embassy are heading up the ramp. and they stand sort of staring down the Mogul affiliates. And then it gets announced that we're gonna get a tag match with the Mogul affiliates and Darby and Sting and Orange Cassidy next week. So that should
And
be
who?
fun. Oh, I'm sorry, Kate. Who was Darby? And there was another guy with face paint.
Sting.
How can I forget the gimmicks? I'm so sorry.
I think Sting took a while to get down to that ring.
Probably.
Same way you forgot about Jesse Ozog stickers. You know, sometimes things just slip our
Kate,
minds.
come on, you have to keep opening up that wound.
It's never really closed.
So I thought this was fantastic. The wrestling was really good. And I do want to say that again, because this led the show off. It is normally a 5-year-old, soon to be 6-year-old's bedtime at 8:00. But he's been very lucky lately that it's been Orange Cassidy leading off the show because he gets an extra 30 minutes to watch Orange Cassidy. I will say what was adorable is that when the lights go off, he jumped up and went, "Oh, it's the House of Black."
Oh,
and I had to explain, no, it's not going to be the House of Black because, they're bad guys, but it's cool. It's going to be somebody cool. And then he was very excited. It was Darby and Sting, but he was like, the House of Black is so cool. They're really cool. I really want to see the House of Black. I was like, it's not going to be the House of Black, bud. And then when it was Darby and Sting, I was like, go brush your teeth, get to bed. It's way late. Anyway, Kate, because Ryan is so depressed that he can't get his Cowabunga Pies Nutty Nostalgia spread, I'm going to go to Ryan first to see what he thought about this match.
So I like that the story they're telling about Orange Cassidy without actually telling the story. And by that, I mean like not spoon feeding it to you, where he's coming out more bandaged, more taped up every week. All these matches are wearing on him. I think that's such a great story. And it's subtle, but done just enough that everyone's picking up on it. I thought Swerve was probably going to be the guy. I was like, this is the match. Because Swerve should be. Swerve's amazing. He needs a belt soon. He's or if not a belt, something big. But at the same point, I don't think the loss hurts Swerve a whole lot because Orange Cassidy kind of stole it. It was kind of one of those like, stop it, Kate. I see the giggle.
No, that actually wasn't at your ridiculous accent, believe it or not.
Can't not be. I'll bite you. But the embassy coming out after, Mogul Embassy coming out after and beating up Orange Cassidy. I get that the best friends had a match, but also like your best friends. Like, I don't care if my best friend's getting beat up. I don't care if I have a match. I'm running down the ramp to fight for him. But that's a very minor nitpick because you got the Sting thing, which again I think he took a while to get down to that ring because it was dark for a long time. So I was just like, Sting's not moving that quickly. But I loved. I mean, I'm not trying. I love the match. I thought Swerve would be it, but I really like what they're doing with Orange Cassidy, which is he just is getting so beat up. I mean, even after this, he took a beating. So I still think Swerve might be the one, based on how this match ended.
I mean, Kate, I also thought it was going to be Swerve tonight. I mean, I'm not mad, right? Like, because Orange Cassidy's doing a great job, but I really thought that this was going to be Swerve's night. Did you think that too?
I thought it might be, and then there were a few things that I thought of. What I was gonna laugh at is sometimes someone in the chat finds the perfect joke for the perfect host, and Val saying, "Meanwhile, Ryan is Cryabunga Pies over there." It's just about the most Ryan-y joke in the history of jokes.
I stole it
from Val. And also Rob Humphrey saying, "Please forgive my lateness. I will not do better."
Kate's never been late for any podcast ever.
Never.
Also, I'd like you both to get it right. Val said Creepabunga Pies.
No, she also said Cryabunga too.
Oh, did she? Did I miss it? I personally like Creepabunga. Personally,
they're both great.
I'm going with Cryabunga.
That's why she doubled down.
I like Creepabunga.
So I thought it might be Swerve's night, but I wonder if the fact we're getting a 6-man out of this makes me think maybe it's not done. Like maybe, and the fact that Orange Cassidy won with a handful of tights, like adds a dimension there where Swerve could be like, I'm the first person in your whole reign that you had to cheat to beat. And I think that's a compelling enough story. I hate when faces win by cheating. Just because the bad guy didn't first doesn't mean you get to do it as the good guy like that. That's just a personal thing. It annoys me in wrestling. But I thought the match was fantastic. Swerve is such a star, man. And I think it would be wise to give him a belt soon. I think with the international title, you do want it defended at Forbidden Door first before you have Orange Cassidy drop it. Like, I feel like his return from injury and this whole run is rooted in that match he had with Will Ospreay at the last Forbidden Door. Like, that's when all the matches started getting agented differently. That's when we started to see a lot more than like kicks, haha, Orange Cassidy getting his ass beat, but he turned it on. Like, that was when we really started to get some dimension. So I feel like that's a nice nod to it. Let him defend it at Forbidden Door. If he retains, I think he drops to Swerve probably on Collision. If he drops, I think that's a really interesting story to drop to someone in New Japan. Ton of fun to be had there. So I wanted it to be Swerve, but I think I get where they might be going with this. But that should also be a nice little 6-man if they choose to go that route as well. But super fun. Post-match beatdown makes sense. The hand coming into play in this match a bunch was fantastic. This was a really, really great way to start off a really fun episode.
I do want to bring up Scott George said he didn't understand turning out the lights and when they come on, the heels are out of the ring and not still in the ring. You know, I didn't think too much about it, but it is sort of weird. We don't normally see that. Did anybody have a problem with that?
No, because the lights are off. I'm getting the fuck out of the ring because someone's coming in the ring.
That's logical.
Yeah, but from what direction?
One Direction?
It did feel like maybe the timing.
You don't know you're
wasn't
beautiful, Aunt.
Perfect. Aunt, you're so pretty.
Thank you. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fun to be had with an eventual Swerve title reign, and I think there's a lot of fun to be had at Forbidden Door. So we'll see what happens.
Well, after this, we do get a video package hyping up the main event. It was absolute Ricky Starks. I just don't remember who else was in the main event. Kate, do you remember who his opponent was tonight in the main event?
And I actually happen to remember this.
Oh, you do?
It was Switchblade. Jay White. Some people
Thank you.
might get it confused and think it was Switchcomb.
Oh, somebody doesn't commit to their bed.
It broke today.
Oh no!
Perfect. See?
Oh shit, that's so funny.
That comb
I'm
knew.
gonna see if I can get it fixed because it's
Is
not a big break.
Get it fixed. Just buy a new one. They're
It's like a screw thing. If I can get the screw back in, I'm fine.
$1.99.
If you can get the screw back in, that's what she said.
That's what she said.
Hey-o.
See what happens, Ryan, when you play with it too much? It
I
breaks.
said last week this thing is gonna break. I knew I would break it.
Look,
See,
I don't pull the big timer card a lot, but I'm used to working with professionals, and between Mr. Forgets to send out stickers and Mr. Broken come over here,
Kate.
do better.
All right,
You
Miss, I'm too
have-
busy to sign things.
I will.
My
for a
internet
price. I'm
won't
basically
work
Virgil.
ever.
My God.
I'm basically Virgil.
Well, after the package, we get American Dragon Bryan Danielson making his entrance to commentary. They also do a recap of his challenge to Okada, and they talk about that momentarily as he says he's going to prove to Okada at Forbidden Door that he's better than he ever was, and then they go to a break before the next match. If you want to hear our take on that match announcement and you missed it, we talked about it in the first hour, so go back and take a listen or watch it on YouTube. But the next match we get is the Blackpool Combat Club. That's Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta versus, that's right, folks, Chaos, the original Chaos, as handpicked by the original leader, Sue. You'll hear New Japan B expert millionaire Matt give you those facts. But it was Chaos. That's Sexy Chucky Taylor, Rocky Romero, and Trent Beretta. Another fun match, if you ask me. Clearly, we know sort of that the Blackpool Combat Club is sort of on a winning streak here. They did come out winning this by submission with the sleeper hold from Moxley on Rocky Romero. At the same time, Yuta was able to cut off Chuck Taylor with the elbows. Prior to that, Trent was taken out as he went for a moonsault and got smashed with the European uppercut from Claudio Castagnoli, which was a great looking move. Always fun to see that. But yeah, that match ended with Blackpool Combat Club winning. Then they cut backstage to Adam Page and the Young Bucks, also known as the Hung Bucks. And they said that next week they're in Washington, D.C., where Dynamite began. And if you think Anarchy in the Arena was the end, it was just the beginning. They want a trios match next week, and Danielson accepts because the Blackpool Combat Club doesn't turn down a challenge. And next week will be their last live TV experience because the BCC will end them, and we go to our next break. So, Kate, I'll throw it to you to get your take on the match. What'd you think here?
I think Danielson is filling the role that Regal played on commentary extremely well. That being said, I'm extremely disappointed that commentary made no mention of Sue during this match. It's sexism. As we've discussed on the show, we would hope that you would support women. And to just ignore Sue. They mentioned Okada being the leader. That makes sense for the Danielson-Okada story, but you can't just throw suicide. So you can't throw suicide like that. It's pretty much like Sue, huge gap, Shinsuke Nakamura, right? And then everybody else. That is what put New Japan on track. A lot of people will tell you Shinsuke Nakamura and Sue finding chaos is kind of what steered the ship back in the right direction for New Japan. And it's just, it's insulting. I feel bad for her. Do better, AEW. But this match was a whole heck of a lot of fun. I'm becoming one of those people that I'm trying not to become, where I'm like, I'm getting very stylistically preferential. Like I've been on such a fucking Tekker rabbit hole and seeing things like if someone goes to the top rope, I've always thought that the best spot in wrestling was the Samoa Joe walkaway spot. I've been very vocal about that because if you think of the exertion to punishment, it's the best ratio you'll ever find. You shuffle to the side, you let a high flyer take themselves out. Incredible. Also on that list, Claudio Castagnoli delivering an enormous uppercut that you fall into, or a Zack Sabre Jr. let me cravat you or catch you in an armbar or whatever the fuck that guy wants to do. Like, it's just, I do have an extra appreciation for things like that in wrestling, and I feel like I'm seeing it more and more on my screen. I saw it in WWE with Becky Lynch pulled off like a manhandle slam from somebody that was coming out from the top rope, and I think it's something I'm seeing more of and that I'm more aware of. I'm certainly not anti-flippy-do at all, but I just, that spot today with Claudio delivering that uppercut was so vicious looking. I think it's so cool he got to work Osaka for Dominion. Like, what a special moment for that dude. But Blackpool Combat Club is just one of the most compelling factions in the world to me right now, and I thought this match was a whole heck of a lot of fun. And to Ryan's point earlier, the fact that they didn't come down to save Orange Cassidy and this match happened immediately after was enough of a logical fill-in for me, because if you have a match right away, you're stretching, you're putting on your gear, you're planning things out. Orange Cassidy hasn't really needed any help in this extremely dominant title reign. So that was my initial reaction, was like, where are your best friends in this best friend situation? But the fact that went on immediately after, I was like, I actually kind of like that. So, so yeah, I mean, really distracted by the fact they didn't even mention Sue on commentary, but other than that, a lot of really, really, really good stuff here.
I do want to add two things, Ryan, before we get your thoughts. Marky Mark Kayfabe says, can confirm as a resident New Japan pro wrestling historian, Sue is a founding member of Chaos. I have to correct you, Marky Mark, on one thing. Sue is the founding member of Chaos. Marky Mark also went on to say that someone needs to update Wiki. Sue's been omitted. It had been updated prior by
literally by me.
Yeah, I was going to say from somebody on this show, and it got changed. So feel free to go recorrect it.
Look, Fightful reported that Sue is a founding member of Chaos. Sean went out of his way to get that confirmed. So
that's right.
He didn't even paywall it. So
Schlong, your thoughts on the match?
So, first of all, Kate is becoming a snob, and it's just brutal. It's removing the fun from wrestling. She's taking it away with her snobbery. The match was excellent. You have 6 of the best wrestlers out there, and they all understand tag team wrestling. Yuta killing Trent at the Chucky at the end was just brutal. And Chuck sold it really well, where he just kind of like stopped reacting after a while, which was perfect, and it looked real. Yuta should just start becoming more and more disheveled. Like his hair should just keep getting longer and his beard stragglier, because I think it's playing into the crazed look. The only thing, what is the ultimate goal with the Blackpool Combat Club trio?
Well, I mean, I think eventually, because obviously you're not going to do the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club foursome, like, because, you know, obviously Danielson's going with Okada, Ospreay's gonna go up against Kenny Omega, so they're taken out of a trio, right, at Forbidden Door. I think we're going to get Moxley in the singles at Forbidden Door, right? So I don't think they're going to pay off anything here, but I truly still believe, Schlong, that like Ibushi's going to come into the picture, and then Takeshita's going to come into the picture, and you know, they still have to blow off that feud, right? It's still strong.
I agree. I'm just saying this trio is just undefeated, just keeps winning. You have a trio's title.
Yeah, but you can't put them in that picture yet because they're still feuding with the Elite. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree, but at some point you start to be like,
sure.
Also,
No,
I saw
I
Kate
think
smile, and I can only assume it was for this.
that was part of it. But also, when you asked what the point of the trio was, and one LT photo just said murder, that popped me as well.
Also,
I get, like,
because people who might be listening couldn't see, you said Kate was laughing at Val's comment, support women.
Yeah.
I'm just
she's
trying
on
to
a
drive
fucking
them to the
roll
YouTube,
tonight.
and that's what I do.
You got to read it, man.
No, I want them to come to the YouTube and see it.
Well, you got to read it.
Nope, I'm driving them to the YouTube.
But if people aren't looking at the YouTube, like, listen, I know
Look at my face at all times.
Hold on. I know that my favorite writer or Shakespearean expert, Jesse Ozog, may be busy writing the next great American novel, and he's not looking at the screen.
Hey, Aunt.
Yes.
Got a little brown on your nose there.
Excuse me. I am just saying that's one example.
If this is how Ant treats his favorites.
I said favorite Shakespearean expert.
He screwed up, and now he's trying to make up for it. We see it.
No.
Moving on. Do you want to talk, Kate, about anything else with this and supporting women?
No, just support women. She's a legend, and I will be updating the Wikipedia shortly after this broadcast to reflect the true and genuine, confirmed, reported by Fightful fact that Sue is a founding member of Chaos. Also, Rocky
The
Romero,
founding member.
so underrated. Holy shit. Rocky is so good at everything he does. Like, he's so good in the ring. He's great on commentary. He's a hell of a booker. Like, absolutely one of the most underrated in-ring talents that they have going on there, because they just have so much going on there. But, like, I felt like he showed out tonight.
This match also, I think, again, sort of for me, showed like how underratedly good Trent and Sexy Chucky T are, right? Like, I mean, this match was constant movement.
Give them a real tag run, god damn it.
Aggressive, but I agree.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I'm aggressive tonight because I'm sad.
Why are you sad? Because of your cow? Because your cryabunga pies?
Cowabunga pies are sold out.
All right, well, there was some great wrestling.
We're going to talk about more of that great wrestling.
All wrestling is great wrestling to me, Kate.
That's true. That does track.
Yeah, some of us are just a little bit smarter, Ryan.
Yeah, I am smarter than you. I enjoy everything. I don't ruin my day.
No, there's
Except when
some
cowabunga
people
pies
who
it out.
just don't understand the depth, and you're one of them, and that's great for you.
You are a snob.
Yeah, because I'm better than you.
But it's like that fake snobbery.
I know it.
Like that person who's read one book and tells you all the time that they've read that one book.
Yeah,
Or like back when like you had like real
if
Facebook
you didn't read that
profiles
book,
and people,
they're better than you.
or like
I know that.
And
when Facebook profiles were a thing, like when people actually cared and they'd put their favorite books and be like Of Mice and Men. No one actually puts that as their favorite book. You're trying to feel smart.
You know what?
It.
Aunt knows it that I'm better than you.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not going to sit here and try and try and
Aunt's a
convince.
yes man.
Try and convince someone who's clearly lesser than in their opinions. I've said this before. Art in general, including wrestling, should be viewed in absolutes and not interpreted in any way, shape, or form.
I almost made a Star Wars joke. I was like, Kate won't get it. Never mind. Move on.
No, because I spend my time not with these nerdy hobbies, but in the classical stylings of professional wrestling.
I go down YouTube rabbit holes of Zack Sabre Jr.
Yes. Are you familiar with a little Evolve match between Zack Sabre Jr. and Tyler Bate?
You know, two things. One, I'm surprised nobody caught the fact Ryan goes, Ant's just a yes man. And my immediate response was, no, I'm not.
I wanted to, but Kate said something immediately and I had to because that was a great response, Ant. That was well appreciated.
Here's the other thing. Actually, two other quick points. Ryan, Of Mice and Men is a good book. I wouldn't call it a difficult read. So
no,
it's
one of those books though. Back in the day, when like again when Facebook profiles like were back when Facebook was cool, so like 15 years ago, and people would put their favorite books, and they'd put like the books you had to read in high school, The Great Gatsby, Of Mice and Men. They put that there as like their favorite books, and I would always know that meant
Of Mice and Men. There's nothing wrong with Of Mice and Men.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong. But when you put that as your favorite book, it lets me know you don't read books.
I'm the snob.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of wrestling.
Here's my third thing I want to bring up because Marky Mark put it in the chat and I totally forgot about this and I should have brought it up because I remember seeing it. He said, fun fact, in the A&E biography about China, they credit Rocky Romero as, quote, former professional wrestler. That is 100% true, and I can't believe I never brought that up. And I meant to talk to you guys about it. I was like, I didn't know Rocky retired. Did you? Because they do 100% put it. Rocky Romero,
both our jaws dropped in true. That
I honestly had to look it up after that. And I was like, did he retire? And I didn't know. Like, is he not actively wrestling? No, he's quite active.
I'm stunned.
Yeah,
I'm holy
stunned,
crap.
I say.
What an insult.
See, I would never make that mistake as someone who is better than everybody at being a fan.
I know that.
So
thank you, Ann.
Let's Ant, I'm going to ask you the question. You could be the judge here.
Okay.
What is the geekier YouTube rabbit hole? It's going to be me, so I'm willing to accept the loss here.
Let's go.
finding
Take the
a
L,
wrestler
Ryan.
and going through their catalog.
Okay.
Or just a bunch of videos about Star Wars.
Oh, 100% the videos about Star Wars.
Okay, I accept it.
Because
I
at
accept
least
this
if you're
loss.
looking at wrestlers sort of like greatest hits, like you're doing it because you're going to like look up like,
Admittedly, this was
hold
not
on.
greatest hits.
No, but
was deep
no,
in.
but okay, that's fine. But like even if you're going and looking up matches from a prior wrestler, you're sort of going and looking at things that they've done. In the case of going down a Star Wars video rabbit hole, Ryan, that could be anything from like fan fiction stories to
No.
I didn't say erotic fan fiction, just fan
all
fiction.
legitimate
have to
stories.
say it.
They may expand into the books that are no longer canon, but they were canon at the time they were written.
Okay, yeah, no, that's you. Because
Yeah, nerdy.
Listen, if it wasn't going to be my Star Wars, it was going to be my history YouTube rabbit holes.
that's
Even
the
worse.
that's the nerdiest one for sure.
That's worse than Star Wars. I don't know how, but it is.
It just is.
How dare you?
Worse.
You volunteered this information.
No, I admit I am the biggest geek on this podcast. That's okay.
I have to
Yeah,
look at
and
all
I'm better
the
than-
bullshit stuff about Lord of the Rings on our fucking feed. You're the nerd. 100%.
Oh man, I forgot that I have like access to the Fightful YouTube, and it was just Zack Sabre Jr. matches and meditation and Led Zeppelin live concerts. I was like, Sean, our suggestions are gonna be weird for a little bit. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Kate, come on.
Oh, by the way, one LT. I don't go down the Zack Sabre Jr. rabbit hole, but I've gone through many a wrestling rabbit hole on YouTube. So I am clearly just. What was that?
Danny Jordan.
No, hers. I've seen more live action, but like what does
Wow.
happen because she's not that old, but
Wishes.
she hasn't been around as long. But like I went through a huge Orange Cassidy one when the AEW started. I went through a huge Joe Hendry one.
Oh, you believe in him.
Who
I
doesn't?
believe in Joe Hendry, and I really want him at Wembley. That's just my.
Joe Hendry. Well,
Back on track.
yeah, let's please get this fucking train on the tracks. We get the hype reel for Kenny versus Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door. Again, if you want to hear us talk about that, we spoke a little bit about that in the first
We're like
hour.
Forbidden dorks.
And then MJF makes his appearance and gets on the mic. He says he nearly killed himself when he found out he was contractually obligated to show up in Colorado because it sucks. And he says there's no more competition for him in AEW. And he tells the crowd as they're chanting, MJF sucks. He says, your mother's swallow. Just A+ work. And nobody is on the level of the devil. Well, that brings out Adam Cole, baby. And I have to tell you guys, I didn't think that there was a more sort of unresolved, unfulfilled feeling in the world until you're going through the Adam Cole entrance, and right before we get the big build to the crowd Adam Cole baby, MJF cuts it off. It's like on The Office
Blue balls.
It's like in The Office that time Andy was like, "Oh, I have to resolve the melody, or it's just gonna bother me," and he had to sing like the last line of something. So MJF says that when CM Punk left him, he thought his wrestling fandom was dead, but then he flipped on he was flipping through channels and saw a little show called Ring of Honor. He can't lie, he thought Ring of Honor sucked, full of indie jabronis with no right to be on his TV, and he was about to change the channel. But then a man with slick black hair and icy blue eyes walked out, slick in the ring, perfect on the mic, and he was genuinely instantly hooked on Adam Cole. He watched as much Cole as he could from CZW to every major indie to Florida, where he shocked the system as Shawn Michaels' handpicked guy, the best champion that promotion ever saw, and that is undisputed. Now that's great pun work. I'll just say that for you guys.
I mean, it's not what Val's bringing tonight, but it's pretty damn good.
All I'm saying to the two of you, look at me, Ryan. Look at me. Look at me. Kate, look at me. get on the level of MJF.
Okay, get on the sticker sending level of Asian Joe.
I'm going to send out 30 stickers this week. Don't you worry.
Sure.
More
Yeah,
than 30.
I can't wait until that happens.
30 plus. Anyway, he says he was a mark for Adam Cole because he's that good. He followed it, and then he followed in his footsteps. He knew in his heart, that Cole would make the jump with him to AEW, and they'd have a feud of a lifetime between two generational talents. But then this guy showed up. You know, MJF asked him what happened. He used to be the Panama Playboy, but now he's the Panama Game Boy. Sitting at home.
Am or pan?
I think I can weigh in on the whole Pam situation.
Hello, Miss Lady.
Hello. So he says he's sitting at home behind his computer looking like a virgin golem. Meanwhile, Britt Baker keeps leaving the house with his balls in her purse, and he didn't used to have the physique. He asked, didn't you used to have the physique of a world champion? He's so frail that crack whores get jealous. And Max says some people say it's the company misusing Adam, but the fact is that they've done everything possible to make him look cool, while all they have to do is make MJF look cool, is ring the bell. The greatest dog collar match of all time, greatest Iron Man match of all time, greatest four-way of all time, best professional wrestler on God's green earth. He's beaten every top guy that that people thought were on his level. So what makes Cole think that he'll be any different? Well, before he answers, Max brings up a nasty little rumor online that the reason he made the jump to the company is because a certain guy in Titan Towers didn't think he had top guy potential. And that individual's name was Vince McMahon. And Max is a big fan, by the way. Of course, there's the bidding war of 2024. And that's how you know the old man lost his marbles, that he didn't see top guy in Adam Cole. But now that he's toe-to-toe in the ring with Cole, MJF thinks Vince was right. So Adam gets a microphone and responds, asking if that's the best the great MJF has. Well, he's coming across like a toxic social media troll. There's a ton of things to comment on, but he's going to brush over the Brit part because she can beat the hell out of Max. But what's his obsession with other people's relationships? Cole understands his fiance left him and he can't keep a relationship to save his life, and he thinks he's figured it out, and that's that MJF is a world-class douchebag. How can we not talk about his body? Max must bring that up because of his body of work, which is untouchable. But if you want to go down the road, how about they both go backstage and piss in cups and we see who's natural and who isn't? You don't want to do that? Thought so. He appreciates that Max studied his career, but they're nothing alike, and those boys and girls in the back respect him. He knows he's been the bad guy in the past, but as a human being, they respect him. MJF, on the other hand, he swears on his life not a single person in the back respects him, and they'd laugh in his face if he asked. MJF says, he'll ask his money about it, but that's tough talk coming from Keith Lee's manager. Adam says he has to create a false narrative because he's a coward of a champion. A real champion would tell him to shut up and fight, but he's a coward. And if Max takes one thing away from this conversation, it's that he won't fight him because Cole is better than him, and they know it. So MJF gets really pissed at that, screams at him that he'll fight him any day of the week and kick his ass. And so we do have a setup match next week, and it will be an eliminator match with MJF versus Adam Cole.
Baby!
Thank you, Kate. So, I will say this. What, Ryan?
I did it too.
It's the first time in a long time, and it was late. So I'll give credit where credit is due. Ryan, good effort. You get an E for effort. I'll say this. I got a text in another chat, and somebody put it perfectly. in 5 minutes of MJF talking with Adam Cole, MJF has already done more for Adam Cole than Chris Jericho did in a 6-month feud of his comeback. I thought this was a fantastic promo from both of these guys. I liked a lot of the history and the jabbing. You know, they evoked the name of Vince, which they've alluded to him, have never really, well, I'm sure they've said his name before, but this was really, really obvious. I didn't have a problem with any of this. I loved it. We're getting where we thought they were going to go, right? But they sort of kept it off of everybody's plate before the pay-per-view. What I'm just interested in seeing is how they sort of get through this eliminator match, right? Because historically, MJF isn't losing. And so I wonder if he's going to cheat.
Come on. You know how it's going to happen.
Go ahead.
Sean Dean.
The captain?
The captain is going to come in here, cost MJF, as he do.
Okay.
Oh, I loved this. I loved this so much. The ring the frickin' bell line referencing the Adam Cole promo where he destroyed Karrion Kross to the point where Karrion Kross never really recovered. Was so great. The only thing that was a little off, and it has nothing to do with either of them, was when MJF brought up ROH, everybody was just booing him, just booing at him for the heat, I think. And he was expecting the crowd to cheer the Ring of Honor reference. And so he had to like kind of twist and weave a little bit, but I actually really like that. I like seeing artists reacting in situations and having to like to eventually get to where he wanted to be. So he talked about hating Ring of Honor, which I thought was really, really, really well done on his part, because it was, I think, the exact opposite of what he was going for reaction-wise. This was such a refreshing reminder of the fact that Adam Cole is also the other fucking best guy at this. Like, MJF, we know what we can do. We got both sides of it. We got the cheap heat calling everybody drug addicts. And we got the personal digs promos. But the way Adam Cole danced around this with the, like, that's it? That's all you got? The MJF who's out here to destroy people on the mic? Such good shit. And his timing on what he kind of went home with this of the I'm better than you and they know it. The delivery on that was so pitch perfect. I'm kind of over the Brit being brought into everything thing. But I like what Adam Cole did here of just like, I'm not even going to address it because she could kick your ass. And they definitely seem to be telling the story with MJF where like had a real life breakup, right? And I think they're trying to make it a character layer of like, he's clearly a guy that's desperately searching for something, and it's some sort of love or approval from somewhere, and he's not getting it in his romantic life, and in kayfabe he hates his parents, and like it's cool to see that being woven in and out when it's done really well. And I think this was an example of it being done really well. I think this is a nice next chapter, and it's a title program that I feel like I thought the Four Pillars match was great. I think the promos to get there were not so great. I think this is going to be the title program that we were hoping for. I think the matches with Danielson and MJF and a lot of that build was really good, but I think this might be the first soup to nuts MJF feud that we're going to just be like, this is on fucking fire. Let's go. So loved everything about this. I thought this was fantastic, but top most at the ring the frickin' bell line that warmed my heart.
Schlong, I am going to assume you like this, but
Nah,
you tell us.
It was average at best. It's so when MJF cut the music for the Adam Cole baby, Adam Cole's just caught in the squatting position, which just looked really funny to me. Like guy just squatting in the middle of the ring and nothing going on. Just looked really funny. Sorry. Made me laugh as I was watching. MJF's was perfect. I mean, just nailed it the whole way through. I was worried about Adam Cole's to start, but he caught like fire by the end because he did a couple of the typical, stereotypical babyface things. He come up with a nickname. Well, douchebag isn't really a nickname, but you come up with the insult. You do like I wasn't really. But by the end, like the steroid line was hilarious. Just that kind of stuff is unbelievable, and the confidence to know that you're going to drop down and do the baby, and they're all still going to be with you in time, just shows like that the audience like loves you and they're with you the whole way. This is a perfect feud for both of them. They can go toe to toe on the mic. They can go toe to toe in the ring. I kind of do hope this brings a little bit of like that cool edge Adam Cole back. I like Adam Cole as a babyface, but if you give him a little bit of the edge, it'll probably help him out. But yeah, his side, I think, was hampered by the fact that he had to get off some digs at MJF, but by the end, he was just killing him with the, like I said, the steroid line will forever make me laugh. But MJF was just as good, using Adam Cole's own stuff against him. The body line is clever to go to because it's what people say. I'm glad they didn't touch on the concussion stuff. I think that's just wouldn't be as fun. So yeah, that's and I actually liked the way they, like Kate kind of said, the way they handled Britt, because everyone does kind of bring up Britt with Adam Cole. So to acknowledge it, move on, but then also to turn it on MJF and be like, you really just care a lot about other people's relationships, was such a good twist on like the whole thing and the whole respect line. Because there is this through story with MJF where he does secretly just want to be liked and respected. You can tell. And so things like that seem to matter. So I was very excited. I love this. I'm excited to see how they stretch it out because clearly it's not going to just be one and done, like 1 week and done. So really want to see how they stretch this out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this eliminator match goes. But it'll be a good match, you know. They're not going to unload the tank, but they're going to go hard for sure. Like, because we're getting to this Adam Cole, thank you, MJF, title picture. If this is the first sort of shot that we get of how this feud's going to look, I love it. So I look forward to the match. I look forward to more of this. We'll see what happens next week. But moving on from this segment, we go to the Hardy Boys and Brother Zay backstage to show off Ethan Page, who is now Matt Hardy's employee. But Jeff says he's talented. He should make the most out of it. And Matt demands that Ethan apologize for injuring Isaiah. And then Ethan holds his hand out to apologize. And I love how Zay just touches it, like just grabs it with his finger and pointer finger and thumb. Yeah, like, And Matt tells him he's going to make him a better man. And we move on. I'm okay with that.
I'm the better man.
Oh, boy. I was totally fine with that. I don't know if we want to dig into this, but I thought it was just a little quick, funny hit. So I'm good with it.
I just love that.
Yeah, it was perfect. So moving on, we get to our next match of the night, Jungle Hook versus LFI, and Jungle Hook get jumped making their entrance to the ring, and this is a tornado tag team match. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, lady and gent. Tornado tag match in my book is just that anybody can tag in and out as they please. You know, like it's quick tags, or you could jump in or something like that.
There is no tag in tornado tag.
Okay, right. So you can go in and out as you please.
Yeah.
Now,
if there's a tornado, there has to literally be a tornado warning.
Oh,
and
that's
a tornado ripping through your area. Yeah.
See, I thought I was missing the part. I thought I was missing the part that a tornado tag match meant that there are absolutely no fucking rules to follow at all whatsoever. Am I misunderstanding the rules of a traditional tornado tag match?
No, I mean, honestly, that's the guise of a tornado tag match is to basically make it a lawless land. Like, that's why they started doing them in AEW, is because they were never enforcing fucking tag rules anyway. So they were like, let's call it a tornado tag.
It was just crazy because I was like, what are they doing? Like, they did everything you think you would do, and a referee would be like, hey, that's not what we're doing here. And they just let it go. So I was like, all right, I guess it's a
It's a free for all.
Yeah, no rules match. And we saw everything: tables, chains, the cords. Dralistico's mask pretty much gets halfway ripped off. And Preston Vance really was fucking cut open gushing.
Of Vance refrigeration.
That's right. Preston Vance refrigeration. At the end of this match, Jungle Hook does win by submission with the snare trap from Jungle Boy on Dralistico. And Hook does get Preston Vance in the red rum. I will say this. Hook covered in somebody else's blood looks amazing.
Yeah.
I will also say this to you guys. At the same time that Orange Cassidy was being viewed in my house by a 5 soon to be 6-year-old. He saw
Glad he didn't see this.
he did see he saw something and was like, "Oh, can I see that?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's going to be way late." No. And then he saw Hook and goes, "Oh, Hook, I want to see Hook." And I was like, "No, you can't see Hook. He will not be seeing Hook." I said, "I'll show him to you tomorrow." He will not be seeing Hook. He does not like the sight of blood, nor would I show him that. That was nuts. But I will say Hook looked great covered in somebody else's blood. He looked like a fucking psycho. That being said, for me, the match sort of was what it was. I didn't think it was an anything goes, but it's Rick Knox. He pretty much does that in every match. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? First look at Jungle Hook in quite some time. Schlong, let's go to you first.
I mean,
I still think they're hinting at the turn for the Jungle Boy because he kind of had the chair in his hand and was giving it a little bit of a look. This was a wild match. I didn't expect it to be quite as wild as it ended up being. I thought I know it sounds weird to say it, but I, for whatever reason, just kind of expected a more tame tornado match. I think because Hook hasn't really been involved in a lot of this. I mean, I know he did the deletion thing, but that's so cinematic. Like he hasn't been involved in this before, so I was shocked. That was a big thick chain that Hook had, and I was kind of wondering why.
That's what she said.
No, it happens. I like I said, I mean, it was really good. I'm wondering what they're doing with the LFO stable. Like the girls are going to stop by for the summer, so they need to figure out what their plans are.
That looks like.
But
Probably Abercrombie and Fitch.
taking if I had one wish.
Yeah, exactly.
I do know that Chinese food makes them sick.
They will not be
does.
getting Chinese.
No.
They will likely be stopping by Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah.
So there we go. We built out 3 months of programming.
But because I like the LFO stable a lot, especially when Roosh is there. But this was really good, and to me, I can't I'm blanking on. I'm trying to think of specific moments, but it was just so chaotic. I'm struggling to do that. You know, they were in the crowd at some point. They're not like, but the moment that sticks out in my head is the end when Jungle Boy had the chair, and he gave a look to Hook, and you're like, okay, and I love it. I'm not complaining. That was the great kind of storytelling. We're like, okay, I see where this is going, and I can't wait to see it happen.
He also, I think, was the one who was tearing at Dralistico's mask, which is essentially something a heel would do, right?
I didn't think about that, but you're right. That's what LFO did.
Right. And that is something Jungle Boy did because Hook wasn't hooked up with, no pun intended, he wasn't hooked up with Dralistico. He was busy with Preston Vance.
Advanced refrigeration, yes.
That's right. Kate, what'd you think?
I mean, as stated, I have just a little bit more sophisticated palate than something like this. No, this was fine. This is not like my favorite thing in the world, but it's the storytelling in here was undeniably really good, and I think these matches live do a lot for crowds because it's just such a shot of energy when something like this comes in. And I also, as soon as you tell me it's a tornado tag, that's just easier for me. I don't really care about the rules because I feel like when you tell me that, you're essentially saying this is going to be a lawless land. But Jungle Boy is definitely going to turn on Hook, and I think that's going to be great. I think we started with the story with Jungle Boy during the Four Pillars match of like, I want to hold gold by the end of the year. He didn't say which it would be. I think the FTW belt's a really fun call because it's so counterintuitive to JB's style. but I think we're definitely getting like these seeds of aggression growing. Jungle Hook's such a fun tag team. It's good to have Hook on television again. So you're getting like the babyface cheers you want, which I think will put a magnifying glass over the turn. Like I think that's going to be a really impactful moment. I hope they go in the direction that they were going with Keith Lee and Swerve, but they finish the fucking story. And I don't mean that in a Cody Rhodes way. I mean, there's a really great story to be properly told with the idea that like we're friends on the same page, and now it's like we're going to different lengths to win matches, and now it's like we're not on the same page at all, and I fucking hate you for it. There's a really nice flow to that story, and they just fucked it up with Keith Lee and Swerve, I feel like. So I'm hoping that they don't do that here. This doesn't need to be a super long thing, but Jungle Hook's a fun tag team to have around for a little bit. Like this turn could be huge for Jungle Boy because Hook is so perpetually over as well. So good shit here. Not my favorite match in the world, but a train wreck, and that is some people's favorite matches in the world, and some good story advancement. So I'll take it.
I will say this: you said Keith Lee, and that reminded me he's the fourth in that 4 versus 4 tag match next week, which I thought was sort of weird. So it's the Mogul Embassy, 4 of them, versus Orange Cassidy, Sting, and Darby Allin, and Keith Lee, who was not there tonight in the ring. Do you find that kind of weird?
Kind of weird that he wasn't there, but who knows, how or why. There's fire winds blowing. I'm sure it's affecting flights and shit. But
no, it certainly is.
Yeah, it might have just been like a thing to do with that or a scheduling conflict or whatever. But if they are continuing Keith Lee and Swerve, I just feel like they've really lost me on it. It feels so far gone, like it was so long ago. But Jesse Ozog asking, how does Keith Lee only count as one person? That's an excellent question.
He's at least 2, if not 3. Moving on, we get Tony Khan's big announcement for the debut Collision main event.
Thanks, Ant. We sure did get that announcement. The first main event.
Hold on.
Of AEW Collision.
Hold on.
I'm really gonna milk.
I'll let you do it.
This moment. No, it's so
I'll let you do
awkward.
It. No,
so awkward.
I want you to do it, but I just want to say this. I didn't think they were going to go this route. Go ahead, Kate. Give it.
Thanks, and we're so excited to bring you the first episode of AEW Collision, and we're happy to announce tonight. Here on TBS that the first main event of AEW Collision is going to be your AEW Bullet Club Gold Switchblade. Just waiting for it off air. Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Samoan Joseph versus your World Tag Team Champions, FTR and CM Punk. Thanks, guys.
What the fuck are they doing? With
now
him?
I feel like they're so purely conjecture.
It's a troll job, right?
I think now it's turned into one. I think they probably had Warner being like, we want you to drum up excitement about a fucking Saturday night wrestling show. Like, put this information out there to get people excited. They're announcing CMFTR is going to be a thing. That's a big deal. And I think they got announcement heavy, and now they're just leaning into it. So thanks, Ant.
I will say this. I just didn't think they were going to do a 3-on-3 match. Like, I thought they would just do CM Punk versus whoever, 1-on-1. You know what I mean? Like, because I just don't, I don't know. Like, I just feel like I guess you don't need that many people in a main event, unless maybe he's still not quite 100%, and they just want to be sure that he'll look his best by not having to wrestle a whole match. You know what I mean? in which case it makes sense. But I had also heard that the thought was they want to maybe put him in some sort of angle with Jay White.
With you mean specifically Switchblade?
Jay White. Wait, who?
Switchblade? Jay White?
Yes. Sorry, I forgot that was his nickname. But yeah, there were rumors that they wanted to get him going in an angle with Jay White. There are also the rumors that they want him going into an angle with Samoa Joe. So it's like maybe you have them both in the one match. Maybe again, like my thought is you put him with FTR because he doesn't have to go the whole match on his own, and they just want to be sure he looks really good at home. You know, it is what it is. I mean, listen, doesn't matter what this main event was going to be. He was going to be there. It's going to do fine. You know what I mean? The funny thing is I realized tonight I will not be seeing this first show. I will not be around. I'm going to have to catch it the next day. So, yeah, I have tickets.
I think there's a couple things here, right? You're not going to start a major program with CM Punk the week before Forbidden Door. That would just be weird and silly. And the other thing is, I don't know if they're confident in what reactions they're going to get out of CM Punk from CM Punk. So this is a really nice, smorgasbord of people. Samoa Joe is a heel, but over as fuck. FTR is over as fuck. Jay White also over as fuck, despite their best efforts. And I think it's a very wise play to put like a heavy loaded, talent stacked, non-story intensive main event for the first one where the story was always going to be CM Punk is coming back anyway, right? So I think that is a perfectly reasonable program.
Ryan, what's your thoughts here on the main event?
I think that this is an excellent main event, and we should all be happy that this is, in fact, our main event on June 17th on TBS. Thank you.
TNT.
Oh, it's TNT. I thought they were. Oh, you're right. God damn it. Whatever. I debated it in my head. I mean, it's a perfect main event. I think it's smart not to bring him back in singles competition. I think this just, again, like you said, ease him back in. He's coming off an injury too. Let him have a nice, easy first match with people that he likes and trusts in FTR and the Bang Bang Gang. So I think this is smart. It's going to be a hell of a main event. I'm looking forward to Collision, and I will watch it that night because I'm committed.
I have tickets to something I'm going to be at. My apologies.
2 tickets to Paradise. Pack your bags. We're leaving the day after tomorrow.
I'll be in Boston. I'm going
Guy
to see
with
Queen.
broken switch comb says he's committed to show.
The only guy who I spend probably the most money.
What?
Well, no, I forgot the stamps. Sorry, your stamps cost
Stamps, stickers, artwork. Name it, Ryan. Name it.
No wigs, though.
Wigs.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Veils.
Captain robes. That Captain robe was
Captain
probably
robe.
$500 alone. Let's get real. The crushed velvet is it's
Green screen to provide this excellent background.
You know what? I wasn't thinking about that. I apologize.
Guys, this ain't a pissing contest, okay? We're the Mark Order. We're one unit.
We clearly know that the person that should be spending more is Kate on her internet, but
it's true.
I am spending a lot on my internet for it to be this shitty, my friends. Let me tell you. We have to jump Matt out. We can't have division within us before we do that. Just sad.
Deal.
Ryan, I do have one question about the wigs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get your wigs from the wig sphere in Knoxville, Tennessee?
No, it was knocked over when some dumb kid threw a stone at it.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You're right. Okay. I forgot. They had that was crushing. Yeah, listen, I don't think they have to worry about anything with Collision. I think everybody knew Punk was coming back. I don't even think it matters what this main event is. People are going to watch for two reasons. They're going to watch because they love CM Punk, or they're going to watch because they hate CM Punk. That's the truth. People who hate him are going to want to watch it to see what he's doing and to bitch and moan about it. And the people who, who love him are going to watch it because he's involved with it. So, it is what it is. I don't think they're going to have a problem with the ratings. It's going to be the week 2. You know what I mean? Like, how can you keep it going?
Well, week 2, you have Forbidden Door. So it's not bad. It's not a
No.
bad little setup.
They just
and
have
you
to
got to
make
figure,
sure.
you got to figure FTR will have a Forbidden Door program. Samoa Joe and Zack Sabre Jr. is likely, I think the story was going to be CM Punk's back regardless of what the main event was. So kickstart it after the pay-per-view cycle. It makes sense.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Thank you, I am.
We move on to Konosuke Takeshita in action against Damon Ace. That's secondary. He wins in a quick squash via pinfall with the running knee. The big news is that post-match, Don Callis gets on the mic and he is shouting to be heard over the boos yet again, week 2. And the reaction that they are getting from the crowd is exactly what they wanted. So he can't really be heard, and he hands Takeshita the mic, who yells at the crowd, and he calls Kenny Omega out, one would assume in Japanese. And Callis says we may not want to hear it, but he's here to tell us the truth about Kenny. Everything Kenny has in his life is because of Don, and this is all his fault. All Kenny's fault, that is. Everything that the Elite has is because of Don Callis. Kenny beat Will Ospreay because of Don Callis. And Omega has been like a cancer in his body. And what do you do with cancer? You cut it out. And he and his family are going to cut the Elite out of AEW for good. So, who's his family? I mean, is it just Takeshita? Are there other people we don't know about that are part of this Callis family? I don't know. But all I can say, guys, you tell me what you think. Kate, I'll throw it to you first. But this is the reaction this is better than what they could have hoped for, because this is the second week in a row that he is getting crushed by the crowd so loud that you could barely hear him.
Just incredible, the heat. It's so much fun to hear authentic story driven heat like this on a manager. This is because of the turn on a top star that this is happening. No other reason, right? It's so rewarding that it's this is heat that is a reaction directly to something they did in a story. You don't find that a lot. Not to this. The other person in AEW who was getting this is Christian, which surprised the hell out of me when Christian was getting it in Michigan, it's just great. Very intriguing to see where they go with this. There's a million places it feels like, and it absolutely is not, but it sure feels like they could leave the door open for CMFTR to walk into that spot. But I think it's too early for that. And I don't think you need Don Callis to be the catalyst for that. So that feels like a down the line thing, but that could be a fun story for the Elite of everybody's trying to push them out of their own company. And then if the ultimate blow off is the trios match that everybody wants 6, 8, 10 months from now or whatever, could be really, really fun. But this is the second time they've hinted at who's Takeshita's family now. I didn't read into it a lot last week, but now it seems a little bit more intentional. I'm intrigued, man. This is fun shit.
Schlong, I want to know what you think, but do you have any problem with what Callis said this week? Because it was pretty much, I don't know if it was the same, but it was really, really similar to what he said last week.
Yeah, I don't care, because the heat he's getting, if you come out and say the same thing every week, but you're getting this level of boos and hatred, I don't care. You keep bringing them out until the boos die down. But I mean, this was probably some of the loudest I've heard someone booed, and it was unbelievable. I think the Takeshita thing, the family thing's interesting. I wonder what they're setting us up for. Clearly, it means one more person is coming. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. The whole thing is just, I'm so curious, and I like that. I like to not know, like, have any idea where this is going. Like the Takeshita part was obvious, but now they've got me curious, and that's it's actually pretty neat that they managed to do that. They took it from a very fairly straightforward, everyone knew where it was going, but awesome storyline to where are you going now? Meanwhile, Dom Callis is getting booed out of every building he walks into, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it's just going to be interesting. Again, like I know I mentioned it last week, and I think the two of you guys were like, yeah, I think he's just talking about Takeshita being his new family, but you bring it up a second time, I think there's got to be more there. You know what I mean? Like it's just something that you wouldn't sort of say again the same way, in my opinion, right? Like, you know, he could have been like, and my guy, Takeshita, you know what I mean? Or, you know, my new client or whatever he's going to say. He said family specifically twice. So,
does Takeshita have family?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about Takeshita. I haven't done my YouTube deep dive like some of us do on Will Ospreay. So I truly don't know.
No, Zack Sabre Jr. was your deep dive. Get it right.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the thing for Forbidden Door. Yes, ZSJ. My apologies.
She'd be very upset if she thought that you thought that she was looking up Will Ospreay when she was in fact looking up the Sabre one.
I mean,
Sabre.
both are good. Sabre. Saber. It's pronounced Saber.
Sabre.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this whole angle. But we move on from this after the commercial. Marvez is hanging out backstage, and he's waiting outside of Christian Cage's door to get an interview. And he says, "I don't know what's going on in there," because he hears some noise. And that's when Cage walks out the door, claims he's the uncrowned TNT champion, and Arn Anderson took something from him. So now it's time for Christian to take something from him. And Brock got him a very nice early Father's Day present. So he knocks on the door. Luchasaurus walks out. They leave the frame, and they reveal a bloodied Brock Anderson rolling in pain, and Marvez is calling for help. So, I mean, this is what it is, right? Like, now we're pulling Brock Anderson into this. Okay, I guess good for Brock Anderson. But I don't necessarily think I need to see Wardlow and Brock Anderson versus Luchasaurus and Christian Cage. You know what I mean?
I just wish they had made Brock's beating like to ridiculous levels. Like, face just coated in blood. You think half his guts are hanging out. Like, they should just gone all over with it. Just oversold it.
They should have bitten Brock's thumb off.
Ooh. Just his whole hand. He's got no
thumb
hands.
for a thumb.
I have yet to find an angle to be more interesting because Brock is involved. At no point, other than that, damn, that dude looks like his dad.
No,
him being laid out, I'm like, I get that it's his kid. I understand that. I have no emotional investment in Brock Anderson, so that didn't do a lot for me. Christian, however, dude fucking rules. Come on. Like, this guy's promos are so great. His delivery is so good. Oh man. Like, I loved it. I loved it. Go Christian, go.
Quick hitter for Christian, but we'll see what this brings on next week. And we move on to our women's match of the night. Anna JAS versus Chris Statlander in the AEW TBS. What's that?
Support women.
That's right. Support women. Sorry. In the AEW TBS Championship Open Challenge, Anna JAS has Daddy Magic with her at ringside. And you know, guys, I was sitting there looking at Daddy Magic's jacket, and I couldn't put my finger on where I had seen that jacket before, and I knew that it was on TV somewhere. I thought maybe it was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but then somebody in one of the chats, the group chats I'm in on, like a text chain, put up a GIF of one David Putty of Seinfeld wearing that same exact jacket. I got to see if I can find the photo because I'll show it to you, but I was like, there it is. That's it. So Daddy Magic channeling his best David Putty. But unfortunately, nothing was going to stop Chris Statlander. She wins by pinfall with the Tombstone Pile Driver to retain the TBS Championship. Great seeing Chris Statlander back on TV. It's an open challenge, so I guess that explains Anna J. AS. Anna J, to me, she was showing a lot of progress, and then she just dropped the fuck off television, and now I feel like she's just back to sort of like where she was before she was building. It wasn't a bad match. Chris is great. She's super strong, and looked like a champion, so I liked it. Unfortunately, it was still in that sort of death slot. They had moved a bunch of stuff out of it, but this was back into the death slot. So, but I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was just fine. And Daddy Magic is great at playing his role in a match like this. So no problems for me. Kate, you love supporting women.
I sure do.
Go for it.
It's really nice to have this title be a workhorse title after like a 60 match, 3-year reign. I love the frequency that this is getting defended with out the gate. Chris has looked really good in the ring since, like, not an ounce of ring rust. I love the presentation. Don't love that this is in the death slot, but I'm also trying to have a little bit of forgiveness around the fact that, like, they had to change their world title for the women on a whim, right? Like on an injury that was a vague injury that they didn't know if they were going to have to do this. And it's already mired in a story. So how do you set up like a feud that you haven't already run out? Like there's a lot of creative challenges that go into now what does this Toni Storm reign look like? So I'm trying to give a little bit of breathing room to it. And also that angle was on TV week after week after week. So I don't hate the idea of giving it some breathing room as we're building to what I'm assuming is going to be that blood and guts match. So would have rather had more than one women's segment, certainly, never mind one women's match, and don't love it being in this spot, but trying to leave some breathing room to the fact that like their women's picture is in a very specific position right now. But this match was perfectly good. I hope Anna J kind of, I really am just so overall the Jericho Appreciation Society stuff as a unit, and I feel like it's held Anna J back more than helped. So I would like to see her, kind of like you were saying, get back to those consistent reps, get back to the badass character that she was kind of before this, because this doesn't feel like the kind of heel that Anna J is.
By the way, here it is. David Putty in the 8-ball jacket.
My God.
From Seinfeld.
What a beaut.
I could pull that off. 100%. I could pull that off.
You won't.
Don't
go
tempt
buy
me.
it. Go buy
don't
it.
Don't tempt me.
Go buy it.
Because you can find it. I mean,
I also do. Sorry, back in women's world, it sounded like I haven't read the details on anything yet, but I don't even know if they're posted yet. But like my guess is they were also building towards something with Mercedes, and Mercedes got injured. So I'm trying to have some more grace around things than I usually do, because they've got Forbidden Door coming up, and it's like, well, what do you do with the women's picture now that Japan has? I mean, they've always had Stardom, right? They've actually done great work for women's wrestling, but now you have women's titles, so it's a lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts.
Schlong, what'd you think of the match?
I liked the match. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think this is what I mean. It was a long. I mean, I know when it was in the quote unquote death slot, but it was a longish match for TV. So I kind of enjoyed that it would that they gave him time, because like Kate said, that for a while, like Jade's matches were never long. They were always quick. It was kind of the annoying thing. I felt like they should let her matches be longer, kind of get her the reps. But we're already seeing a difference between her and Statlander's, and I prefer Statlander's wrestling style, at least as it stands right now. So I really enjoyed this, and I'm excited for her reign. Obviously, they're teasing Taya. Let that happen when it happens. But I like the idea of TBS champ continuing the open challenge and just let her wrestle everyone in the women's division that she can, because not only will it help her and her reign, it'll also get women over, and they desperately need to continue to build, especially with more TV they have to fill.
They're gonna have to figure out something with Willow because she's just on. They're gonna have to figure out a way to strike while the iron's hot with Willow, because she like wasn't supposed to win this New Japan Strong title, and she is getting like monster reactions and putting on fantastic matches. I'm very intrigued to see what happens there. But also, I want to see Athena. I want to see Athena come up in this.
I mean, Athena is just doing a great job though down in Ring of Honor,
Killing it.
Before the main event, they do hype up the card for next week and for Rampage, and we did talk about a number of those matches, but the big thing that they mentioned here was that there's going to be a 4-way number 1 contenders match next week for the AEW Women's World Championship. I know in that 4-way match, it is Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, do you guys remember who else was in this match? Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, and 2 more. I'm sure somebody will put it in the chat. I just don't have it written all the way down.
I was making chicken tenders.
Yeah, I know. Or going to the bathroom, or both at once. Then there was a promo from Tony talking about that match. So, I think that that should be a good match for next week, and then we'll see about the title shot. All I can tell you is I don't want it to be, Nyla Rose, because you're pretty much writing that off. Thank you, Caden. He put it in the chat. It's Mercedes, Britt, Nyla, and Sky Blue. That's right. So out of those people, I would rather see Mercedes win and have a match with Tony Storm.
Hell yeah.
But part of me is fearing that it's going to be Nyla Rose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's the role they put Nyla in, is lose to the champion role.
Ryan would hate that, and so would his little Nyla figure.
He would. If she was in reach, I would grab her, but she's not. But yeah, that is. I hate that they do that to Nyla. She deserves better. Turn her face. Let her be herself. They kill her. They kill her by doing that.
Absolutely. And then we're into our main event. It's Absolute Ricky Starks, and my notes are a little jumbled here, Kate, and I have a terrible memory.
I got you on this.
Okay.
So you got Ricky Starks, looking great, by the way. Great haircut.
Fantastic.
What a star. And you also, on the other side of this, you got Switchblade Jay White.
Wait, who?
Switchblade. A Jay White.
That's right. So Starks does attack Jay White during his entrance, and they're fighting for a while outside the ring, and then eventually things do get back into the ring. Ricky and Jay White are going back and forth. It looks like it can go either way. Eventually, Ricky does hit the spear on Jay, but he's not satisfied, so he goes for that Rochambeau. And he's able to connect with it, but Paul Turner gets clipped by Jay White's legs and gets knocked down. So now we have no referee.
What a bad ref bump.
Don't
what
worry.
a bad ref. He just.
No, wait. Don't worry. Hold on. We'll get there. Don't worry. Because there are a couple guys there who are able to help out Jay White. And guys, look at me. Look at me. 2 guys to help out the Bullet Club.
The Bang Bang Gang
are the Guns. Get it? Bullets, guns.
Bang,
it all fits. And they hit the 310 to Yuma on Ricky. Jay crawls over and is able to call for Paul Turner, and he's recovering. Hooks Ricky. 1, 2, 3. Jay White wins by pinfall with the Blade Runner. He does hit the Blade Runner. And then Juice Robinson comes down and Bullet Club Gold celebrate. That is the end of the show. did not love the ref spot. But did not also necessarily hate the way this ended, right? Ricky is still, it's still not over. Ricky doesn't look bad because they had to cheat to win. But I don't know, bullets, guns, you know what I'm saying? Guns helping out the bullets. Where do you
Bullets and
put
guns.
bullets in
Ah?
guns?
Ah?
Anyway, Bang Bang Gang victorious again. I only say Bang Bang Gang because I know people hate Bang Bang Gang, but I love Bang Bang Gang. So
I hate it.
Bang, bang, gang.
Bang Bang Gang. Kate, a question that came up, and Ryan, a question that came up on my couch tonight watching this match with Mrs. Money. Mrs. Money asked me, and I figured I'd ask you guys here on the show, and for anybody in the chat too. You guys remember? Mrs. Money said, this is a direct quote. Do you remember when Matt scared off Jay White? Because I sure do.
And it's funny you should mention it. I actually remember when Matt scared off Jay White. If you need a quick recap, we have mentioned it, I think, a time or two on the show.
We have. And you can go to the archives too. Let me plug. You can go to the archives back to when we went to Atlantic City,
a few times.
Dynamite. Sure. But that was the first time we probably spent, 30 minutes on it on that episode.
That was the first time in the entire time I've known Matt that I have seen him have a Mark moment. And it was delicious. Okay. He, like a deer in headlights, was like, oh, that's like my favorite wrestler. I'm going to go talk to him. No. And then went to do it again. No. And Jay White was like, kind of made eye contact with him and was like, I've had a long day and I am going to not engage this feller. Not in an insulting way. Not like in a way where he was like, oh, brother, not this guy. But he was just like, had a long day. I'm at the casino. Gonna just do my own thing. And Matt, like in an old-timey movie where his lover is departing on a train and it's just, oh my God, just to see it in real time was incredible. This is gonna surprise people.
Hold on. I also want to say, for us, it is great having witnessed that moment live, because how many times have we, and I think it was even that same weekend, the night me and Mrs. Money got there the night before the show. We decided to go down the night before and make it a little overnight, whatever. And I was texting you guys that night about, oh, I see this person's here. I see this person's here. I've seen this person's here. So this is where they're staying. And every time Matt would say, go say hello, go get a picture. And I would say, I'm good, Matt.
Yeah,
that's not my thing. I'm here. Right. I'm here with Mrs. Money. And they're, I'm sure, just getting in and they don't necessarily want to be bothered. I'm respecting them, just letting them live their life. And Matt's response will always be like, oh, what the fuck? You don't fucking, who the fuck?
My favorite part is that he's genuinely interviewed so many wrestlers before AEW was a thing that are on AEW that like Clark Connors was like, let's get cheesesteaks. Didn't happen. But he was like, we'll hang out after the show when we went to New Japan. Then Santana and Ortiz bumping fists, calling out Matt. So to see Matt be on the other side of it was just, it was honestly beautiful.
I mean, he waffled.
He awful waffled, to be honest.
He folded like a cheap suit.
He really did. It was precious. Hey, here's something that's going to surprise you, okay?
Go ahead. I want to know your thoughts, Kate. Go ahead.
As you know, I have been violently anti the gun club.
Violent.
I don't hate this.
I knew it.
Strictly predicated on the fact that I feel like their personalities and Juice Robinson, how is that not a home run, man? This iteration of Juice Robinson and these guys, that just feels like it makes sense. I don't know how much I like the three of them with Switchblade, Jay White, but I do I do have a little bit more breathing room for it because I also think we're going to get, I'm guessing we're going to at some point get Bullet Club Gold versus Bullet Club probably at Forbidden Door. And regular Bullet Club is right now the best it's been in years with the recruiting that they did over there. So you're going to want someone to take the fall on the AEW side, I think. And sometimes you need fall guys. You don't want it to be Juice, and you definitely don't want it to be Jay White. The Guns being kind of tucked away as guys that are going to eat pins and bring the same personality that Juice is to this. I don't hate it. I don't think I love it yet, but I don't think it's like a swing and a miss. I don't think it's a terrible idea because I think Juice could do some really good work with them. And if you're following in the footsteps of like how New Japan turns out stars or stables in general turns out stars, like they got to go through this phase of not being very good. I think this is way more hurt by the fact that they were champions already and shouldn't have been yet. And I also think this makes sense because FTR came in to save Ricky, and the Guns have had issues with FTR in the past, obviously. So I don't know if I like it yet, but I don't hate it as much as I think some people would probably assume because I've been so not in on the Guns. And I got to say, Austin Gunn did improve a great deal. Colton Dunn is human ambient. I don't know, but I don't hate this.
Can I say, I want to say two things. One, I think if the Guns were to join BCG, Bang Bang Gang, Bullet Club Gold,
of course,
I wouldn't hate it because, you know, that's sort of Jay White's Bullet Club. Cocky, sure as shit of what they got and what they can do. And the Guns fit that profile, you know? Here's the other thing I want to bring up, and this is a little aside. I always get the Guns mixed up. The taller of the two, that's Colton.
Correct, right? Yes.
Do you know last week, I think it was last week, was the first time that Mrs. Money and I realized that tattoo under his armpit. Do you guys, I've seen it, but when I say realized, I finally realized we've realized what it was. And I give Mrs. Money the credit because she saw it, she said it, and then we sort of confirmed it. Do you guys know that ugly ass tattoo that he has under his armpit?
No, never noticed.
Are you kidding? You've never noticed his giant black spot under his arm?
Never noticed.
Halfway, it's halfway out from under his arm. It's a fucking horseshoe. It's halfway sticking out under his arm. Terrible.
That's a bad tattoo.
We talked about Cody Rhodes' terrible neck tattoo. That is worse. Anyway,
no,
I just needed the feel
worse.
to say that.
Nothing.
Oh, it's worse.
No, if it's on your neck, it's worse. Neck is worse.
Yeah, but his tattoo on his neck fucking upped his figure value probably by like $9 bajillion. This horseshoe shit is bad.
All I know is I like this. I love this. I want some more of this.
Of course you do.
Think about it. They're cocky. They're funny. They're former champs, so they have some talent. They're perfect for the Bang Bang Gang. And like you
former
said,
champs, so they have some talent is a jump.
No, it's not. It's accurate. And like you said, over in Japan, they're building up the Bullet Club by bringing in young guys with talent who just need to kind of get some refined. So that's what they're doing here. I think it's going to really help them out. It's probably what they should have done with them to begin with, put them like with a heel stable and let them go that route. But I think they're perfect for the Bang Bang Gang. This is where hopefully you see them break out to what they, something better. And I think Kate is going to end up loving them. I think they'll be her favorite tag team of all time. I think she'll go.
You think I'm going to like them better than Jarrett and Lethal and Tiger?
No, I was correcting myself. So I think it's going to go Jarrett and Lethal. Then it's actually going to stay the Gun Club, but now it's going to be Bang Bang Gun Club, then Gun Club before Bang Bang Gang, and then everyone else.
I don't hate it. All right. Kate's saying no. I think she's going to eat her words. Much like another guy we know who did a complete 180 on Finlay.
Just sounded like he's sucking Finlay off.
Well, whoa!
That's right. I'm burying the man who didn't mention us on a podcast.
Right? Where is your face?
Right here.
His camera didn't follow him.
What happened?
Well, that was Dynamite. I thought it was a fun show. A lot of fun. We're gotta build to the debut of Collision. We gotta build to Forbidden Door. We've got to build past that. You know, they're moving in the right direction. Well, guys, some news and notes from the past week. Bunch of stuff's been going on. Let's touch on it quickly. 1, the video game. It is coming out. More. That's right. June 28th. You can get early access if you order the Fight Forever Elite Edition, which they announced this week. You'll get early access. You'll get Matt Hardy and Broken Matt Hardy attire if you get that edition. And also, what was included was that there will be Season 1 Pass players that you will get if you get that edition of the game. So according to the listing, the specific packs that come with the Season 1 Pass are an FTR Revival Pack. That's Dax and Cash, plus mini games Join Us in Death Race X. The Limitless Bunny Bundle, which includes the Bunny and Keith Lee, plus mini games MJF, Car Thrash, and Sloth Sling. And then the Hookhausen Very Handsome, Very Evil Pack, which includes Hook and Danhausen. You will be able to purchase Season 1 Pass separately, but if you want it all together, you can get the Elite Edition. The reason I even bring this up is I'm just surprised that, like, Dax and Cash, like FTR, weren't part of the game to begin with. They're sort of add-on content. Like, I get it, maybe for the Bunny, you know, or for Hook and Dan, you know, even Danhausen. The Bunny, I get, or Keith Lee surprises me a little bit, but like FTR, I'm a little surprised they're download content.
I thought initially it had something to do with their scans being delayed because of COVID stuff or something. But considering it took this long, there's kind of not an excuse for that. But I also know nothing about video games, so I don't know.
No. It's all about the money. Putting a team like FTR.
It's all about the money, Ryan said.
The money. No, putting a team like FTR as DLC encourages people to get the season pass so that they can get FTR. It's literally a greed move.
Well, either way, make sure you're on it.
That's coming from Ryan, who is now 4'8" and turned sideways.
That's right.
I don't remember why I put myself in this position. It was some protest of Ann as a joke, and then it's really comfortable, and it's been hard to switch out of.
Is it because I turn and move?
No, you went to Kate for something over me, and I said, "That's it. I'm getting in position." I was like, no one noticed it, but the problem was I got comfortable.
Happens to the best of us.
Let's see. The other news that came out is there's a Wrestling Observer newsletter that brings up Ace Steel and CM Punk. They say the belief is that Punk and Ace Steel will be heavily involved in the creative of the show. That's Collision. At least that would be for Punk stuff, and the main angles and storyline of the show will revolve around him, and he'll obviously have great input into that. So I don't know, Kate, do you have a problem with and I think we talked about this when it came to like the Bucks and Kenny and stuff having input into putting themselves in sort of the big pictures and total input into the stories. Do you have a problem with that with Punk and Ace Steel?
No, not if, you know, there's 4 active wrestlers that are SVPs and doing that, right? So it seemed like the ethos the whole time has been if you're kind of a top caliber name, you get to do that. Jon Moxley, etc. I hope CM Punk has seen all the Rockies at this point. I think that would be a good educational tool before you start weighing in on creative. See the Rocky movies, one all the way through. But yeah, no, if they're going to bring back Ace Steel, you should probably use Ace Steel in that way, right? And there's also like other people that are going to have creative input. think FTR was one of them. Bryan Danielson certainly. It makes sense if you're gonna have that be the case on Dynamite. I would hope you'd want it to be the case on Collision.
Yeah, the rumors are that Danielson's been heavily involved in creative, and he's almost being seen as like one of the top creative guys within the company, not just for his stuff, but sort of across the board. He's been sort of a sounding board for creative. So
There
I
are
don't know.
some reports about that.
There have been some reports.
There have been.
I don't know what you're referencing. Fight Club?
No.
No, seriously, I don't know. Was that a Fight Club report?
Some people have reported it and other people have not reported it. I'll just say that. I don't want to shit on anybody, but
that's why I say that. That's why I say there have been some reports.
Yeah,
it's reports. Nothing's confirmed. Let's see. There's also some news that came out as to why Pac hasn't been on AEW shows. It also came out that Pac has been out of action due to getting his nose fixed. That he was wrestling on after it was injured to complete the Best of 7 series, and that he hopefully should be back shortly. So hopefully Pac is a guy that we could see wrestle at Wembley. Hopefully he's back well before Wembley, but that certainly would explain why he's been MIA. And I did forget until I saw that. I was like, oh, that's right. He was wearing that mask. Like, I forgot he did have his nose smashed. I guess it's just been still giving him problems. So that explains it, folks.
breathing is an important thing, just like in life, also wrestling. So
Very true. It's air, wrestling, and then everything else.
that's it.
Food, water, that all comes second.
God.
I mean, I don't know if he makes the list, but we'll see. Guys, Ring of Honor news came out this week. They'd set a date and a location for Death Before Dishonor. Death Before Dishonor. And this was giving a lot of people like, what the fuck? Why? But I don't care. Death Before Dishonor is announced, or was announced on Rampage, that it will take place on Friday, July 21st in Trenton, New Jersey at the Cure Insurance Arena. Tickets are on sale Friday, June 9th at 10 a.m. Eastern. And it looks like the show time is 7 p.m.
Here's the thing, okay? My cousin has a wedding that day, and his fiance is lovely. I don't want anything bad to happen.
That being said,
if there was some sort of issue with the venue where they double booked or something,
way to not support women.
or
he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Kate.
Am I supporting women by not buying into the idea of this tradition that is
She
sexist
clearly likes it. It
by
clearly
nature?
makes her happy. So
Yeah, but
you're not
it's
supporting
an
her. Way to not support women.
anti-feminist ideology, and quite frankly, I could support more women by going
No,
to ROH.
you should
as
support
there will
all
be
women,
more.
and you're not supporting a woman here. Way
I'm
to go,
not
Kate.
rooting for them to break up. I'm just rooting for them to
You
get married
clearly
a
are.
different day. I want them. I want to support all the women, and to do that, I need to be in two places at once. That's all I'm saying.
What time's the wedding?
I mean, that's a Friday, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a 5 o'clock to 11 gimmick.
Where's the wedding?
Like outside of Atlantic City.
It's not too far, but I mean, you're done at that point.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if I'm getting tickets or a ticket because none of you jamokes can go. And then Millionaire Matt's going to be working. He's not even coming with us to Collision. As it is, we're still waiting to see if Ryan will commit to Collision.
I'm waiting to see if he commits to making it to the end of the show, quite frankly.
Seriously, I think he's sleeping. He's smiling. Oh, how nice. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I'm getting a ticket. But it should be a good show. Ring of Honor live shows are a lot of fun, and this product has been good. So if you're in the area, figure it out, get a ticket. I'm probably going to get one or two just in case. And we'll figure it out. But then we'll be a collision the next night in New Jersey, so that'll be fun.
Yes.
Guys, Andrade will be having a return match from his injury, but it is not going to be on AEW television. He is booked for June 15th date. He is competing in a Triangular de la Muerte match against Psycho Clown and Cybernetico. So I'm just going to pronounce it in English. On June 15th for Lucha Libre Indie Show in Gomez Palacio, Durango, Mexico. So hopefully everything turns out well, because then the first match, the first night for Collision is June 17th. Who knows if he'll be in action, but you'd hope he'd be there because it's the opening show. What's that?
He also wouldn't do the walking into Tony Khan's office bit. He seems like a prickly bear.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you. Kate, you're gonna love this one. Eddie Kingston is gonna be pretty busy. On Sunday, June 4th at Dominion in Osaka, Kingston was unexpectedly named one of the 32 men who compete in New Japan's iconic, grueling G1 Climax tournament. It'll be his first time in the month-long round robin tournament, first shot at the IWGP World Heavyweight title in Tokyo, in the Tokyo Dome next January. So he's part of the largest field in G1 history that includes Okada, Naito, Sanada, Ospreay, Tanahashi, David Finlay, Shota Umino, Shingo Takagi, Big Tom Ishii, Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, Hikuleo, Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi, Toru Yano, Kenta, Zack Sabre Jr., Taichi, of course Eddie Kingston, El Phantasmo, Ren Narita, Evil, Chase Owens, Jeff Cobb, Great Khan, Aaron Hanare, Gabriel Kidd, Alex Coughlin, Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, Yoda Tsuji, and Kaito Kiyomiya. I got all the way to the goddamn end. Kaito Kiyomiya. God damn it. So it kicks off July 15th in Sapporo, wraps up August 13th in Tokyo's Sumo Hall. But before that, Kingston's been booked for another New Japan date during what is the debut of the company's US-based Strong brand in Japan. So on night one, on July 4th, you're going to get Catch 22 versus Dan Maloney and Clark Connors for the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championships. And on night 2, you're going to get Kenta versus Eddie Kingston for Strong Gold. So that looks like it's going to be pretty good. Kate, you've got to be excited about this.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay. Fuck yeah, I'm excited. Eddie in the G1, that's always been his dream. And he was injured, but he'll be cleared in time, and now he gets to go do it.
Ryan, you okay, bud? How you feeling about this?
It was always his dream, and now he's
do
it.
I don't only support women; I also support men who are.
You don't support women. We've been over that.
I support women. I am women.
Women? Okay.
Yeah, I am. I'm every woman. It's all in me.
Okay.
I just wrote that right now.
Guys, quite frankly, I don't know who the fuck this is, but apparently they're wrestling on June 8th, the June 8th edition of Ring of Honor Television. Lee Moriarty versus, I don't know, who the fuck is Griff Garrison?
Who the fuck is Griff Garrison? And I honestly thought you were going to say Sheeta. I was very confused.
Me too. I was so confused.
Griff Garrison is coming back from injury. I guess it was 2 years ago. Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. took on the Young Bucks for the World Tag Team Championships. That was put out there by Brian Pillman. So Griff's been dealing with an injury. We actually, I think, mentioned him like a week or two ago and was like, man, what the fuck is going on with him? And who the fuck is he?
Who is this guy and what's happening?
Don't know. But he will be on the June 8th episode of Ring of Honor Television on the Honor Club. That card also includes the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, Willow Nightingale versus Rachel Ellering, which is pretty fucking awesome because Rachel Ellering is a good wrestler. Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Championship Proving Ground match. That's Brian Cage, Bishop Kaun, and Toa Leona versus Marcus Cross, Eli Isom, and Cheeseburger. Another good crop of guys. We're also getting Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and Silver versus JD Drake, Anthony Henry, and Shane Taylor.
That's a weird one.
But great to see Shane Taylor in Ring of Honor.
That's just a weird trio.
Of course. Zach Clayton versus Matt Sydal, Kyle Fletcher versus Christopher Daniels, Drolistico versus Willie Mack. Love seeing Willie Mack. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett versus El Combard and El Dragon. Phoenix versus Gravity. And in my case, Phoenix always beats Gravity. Robin Renegade versus Kiera Hogan, who is really going after Athena. Love the Kiera Hogan story that they've got going.
Hell yeah.
Vert Vixen versus Mercedes Martinez. And I know we're going to see Mercedes next week on AEW television, but love seeing Mercedes on Ring of Honor television. Sonny Kiss, Best Ass in the Biz, Jeeves K, and Slim J versus Darius Martin, Action Andretti, and AR Fox. And of course, Griff Garrison versus Lee Moriarty. So, looks like a pretty good card for this episode of Ring of Honor, and they've been doing pretty good work over there on their Ring of Honor TV weekly. So be sure to check that out. And hopefully we see Griff Garrison back in an AEW ring at some point because he was doing really good work.
Hell yeah. Jon
Moxley is going back to Japan, and apparently he's bringing somebody from his past with him. After ending the GCW Tournament of Survival this past weekend, El Desperado wanted some more violence. So apparently he called out Moxley. So Moxley is going to bring some backup with him. He's going to Japan in July 4th and 5th. He's bringing Homicide with him. It's a weird one a little bit, huh?
It is, but he worked the tapings, the Strong tapings that we went to.
Yep. No,
So
he
he's getting
totally
around
did.
there.
But
But
it's
that is
just
an
weird
interesting one. Yeah.
to see Mox and Homicide. So at the very least, we'll get to see Homicide in Japan.
Hell yeah.
So there you go. Honestly, guys, that's all I had. That's all the sort of news from the last week, unless somebody else has something they'd like to bring up.
Just that Santana is
Brian
on his
is-
way back, right?
Well, there's a lot of at least from what I've read, there's a lot of people who are like, is he coming back? Or is he just sort of like counting down days to when his contract is supposed to be over?
Well,
So
if you're out injury time, they could do
oh, of
that.
course. Of
Yeah.
course. No, I'm with you. But that's the thing is what's he been putting up pictures like 6'9", right? Or 6, it's some date in June. But he hasn't really said what it is. And the other thing too is that he had that massive falling out with Ortiz, like for real. Before
Right.
he went out,
I mean, injuries happen, right? And
sure.
I'm not saying I know anything or whatever, but
You know it.
I don't. I wish I did. But I would be very frustrated if I were them about the way that the tag picture kind of unfolded. I think if you've had an injury in 2 years separate, things might look different 2 years later or whatever. But I hope they can work it out because they're a phenomenal tag team.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. A lot of people think it's his countdown to returning to the ring. Again, there are some people who think he is just counting down to what his end date of his contract should be. But I'm with you, Kate. They're definitely going to add on injury time because he's been out for a long time. But I also don't know what he'll move on to do by himself anywhere else, because him and Ortiz were such a fantastic tag team. You know, it's just like, I mean, I know he's a good wrestler, but it's just like,
They were the tag team. Yeah.
that's right. You know, it's hard to break that up, but I don't know, guys. If that's it, we're going to pull this one into the station. So, Kate, you're the one with the most going on. Why don't you tell people what you've got happening?
I do like a million podcasts at Fightful, so check me out, Fightful Selected and Fightful YouTube. And then on Wednesdays, I do this one. And then once a month, I'm on the Excite commentary desk. So follow me at Miss Kate Fame for less lazy plugs than the one I just gave.
That was lazy.
It was.
Ryan, why don't you tell the people where you're at?
I'm here on Wednesdays at 10:15. Then I run our Twitter, Mark Order Pod, which is us across all socials. Don't be a, Kate, what shouldn't people be?
Don't be an absolute dickhead.
And we can have fun interacting.
And he's also live tweeting. Oh. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Well,
after I just set you up to say the thing you wanted to say.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be such a dickhead toward you.
There
This is why I
are
don't support women.
There are no more Dark and Dark Elevation, but who knows? Maybe one day you'll be able to hear about it on this show. The past of Dark and Dark Elevation. Who knows? We'll see. I told you guys before, we're cooking up some stuff, so stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff in the works.
In the hopper.
I'm here every Wednesday night. At some point, Ryan will let us know that Pluggo would like us to be on the show, and maybe I'll go on Between Two Beards. Who knows? But you can find me here Wednesday nights at Mark Order Pod. You can follow me on Twitter at AntMoney. I'm not like super active there, and I never get alerts, so I apologize for that. Follow me on Instagram at AntMoney247. But you should follow us, the podcast, at Mark Order Pod on all socials, as Ryan said. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all over the place. If you're following us on one, hit the link tree in our bio. You can find links to all of our socials. Give us a follow. That helps us out more than you guys think. So if you could give us a follow, that certainly helps us. Head over to show your support by clicking the button in our link tree to request free stickers. All you got to do is give us your full name, your email address, and please remember your full mailing address so that I can actually send you out some of these stickers. They're not digital, folks. These are real physical stickers that we send out with a nice letter that I sign in an envelope that I hand address and a stamp that I put on there myself, except for some people who are probably going to get it stamped officially from the postage machine at the post office, because I don't have enough stamps to mail all of these out at once. But you could do that. You can request free stickers. We've been getting a lot of requests. We love it. So please keep them coming. What we would also love is if you want to spend some of your hard-earned dollars on us, please click the button in our link tree to head over to our Pro Wrestling Team Tees store. And you could find that at prowrestlingtees.com/markorderpod, or even searching Pro Wrestling Tees for the Mark Order Podcast. Pick one of the 4 shirts that we have. Pick more of them if you like. You want one of each? Get them all. There's 2 front prints, 2 double prints. And the money you spend there, some of it comes back to us so we can help do more fun things on this show, like getting more stickers and putting together more content and all that kind of stuff. So thank you in advance for anybody who decides to pick up a t-shirt. Thanks to everybody who watched tonight on YouTube. We love all of you that we see there. We see Jesse Ozog, 1LT photo. It's hard to wave and scroll at the same time. Rob Humphrey, Marky Mark Kayfabe, Caden, thank you. Gordon Post, Val, who was hanging out for a good portion of the night. Pretty much all night. Asian Joe. We saw the Broadcast guys hanging out for a little bit in here. So I'm sure I'm forgetting some other people. I think I said Gordon already. Thank you, Gordon. Joseph Suarez. Sloanamite chimed in a few times. Thank you, Sloanamite. Blah, 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 blah. You guys chatted a lot. I'm scrolling. Caden,
If we missed you, we missed you.
No, hold on. I've gotten shit about this before. Scott George. Thank you, Scott. I'm still waving. Rob Humphrey, Gordon, Jesse. Okay, I'm done scrolling because I've gone way long. But thank you to everybody who watched. We do appreciate it for watching live, and it's a lot of fun to see you guys chatting along with us and with each other. We love that you guys can have a good time while we're having a good time talking about AEW. If you're listening in podcast form, we love that you're listening there too. If you're listening on podcast and you haven't, please subscribe, like, rate, review. That helps us greatly. It only takes a couple minutes of your time. So please, if you can do that to help us, it really does help. If you have never tried watching us on YouTube, head over to the YouTube, subscribe to our channel, smash that like and subscribe button below, and stay up to date on whenever we've got stuff going on. We do some bonus shows. We're talking about putting up some bonus content at some point in a few different ways. And all of these shows live on in the archives. So if you've ever listened to something like us originally telling the story of Matt scaring Jay White, or Matt's cats getting into a fight, or who the fuck is Matt, go all the way back to the start and watch some of those shows. They're a ton of fun, and they're all there, as well as our bonus shows where we've reviewed Ring of Honor pay-per-views, Battle of the Belts watch-alongs, and anything else you could think of that we may have covered. Beyond that, we certainly will have a bunch to talk about next week. I've got a ton of stickers to get into the mail. So for anybody who has sent requests, they're coming. I promise you that they're coming. We've just gotten so many. I can't believe how many we've gotten. Seriously, keep them coming. We love sending them out. And at some point, we're going to have to get new stickers. So thanks, everybody. We appreciate all the love and support. Ryan, thanks, pal. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, buddy.
Kate,
That's
always a pleasure.
You too.
Always a pleasure. And we will be back here again for you guys next week. Stay safe in the smoke if you're out there. And we'll see you next week here on the Mark Order Podcast. Bye.
This concludes the Mark Order Podcast. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. Join the Mark Order.